House Networks presents the Premier Equipment Rentals pregame show.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to Bright House Network's high school football game of the week. Who's playing tonight? I can't even remember the teams that are involved in this game tonight. Vance Palm alongside Brian Adams and Matt Alvarez. Well, here we go, fellas. We've been talking about this for a long time. Everybody in the Valley is talking about this. People in Los Angeles, people up north are talking about this game. This is the high school football game of the week, the quintessential matchup of the two best teams in the Valley as we know it. The visiting Bakersfield High School Drillers against the Centennial Golden Hawks with the vaunted offense and Cody Kessler. There is a lot of things that we're going to talk about tonight during the game. We'll be covering a lot of storylines, a lot of stats, a lot of numbers, a lot of the coaches' quotes. There are a lot of things that we're going to talk about as three analysts and game guys, but we're also going to hear from the coaches in just a second. Bakersfield High School Driller himself, Brian Adams, who's called a lot of these games, played in a lot of big games, Brian. First of all, let's talk about your BHS Drillers. What do you expect tonight?
Well, Vance, the one thing we know they come out for, they've been a stalwart on the goal, and that's their defense. They want to set the tone defensively. Can you put enough pressure on Cody Kessler that you can cover the guys for a short period of time and make some plays? But Sean Johnson is a formidable foe with that running back that gives that Centennial offense balance. So a big test tonight for the Driller defense. But offensively, can Brian Burrell run that little pistol-type offense and control the game and limit Cody Kessler's attempts?
This offense is not just about Burrell, not just about Mercy. There are other options here. But as you mentioned, this defense really has to step up. Brian, before we go to Coach Gola, what has this defense been thinking about all week long for BHS?
Well, the thing about it is you get talking about Cody Kessler, and I think that's a mistake because if you don't, we saw Sean Johnson early in the year. He's a dual-threat guy in terms of returns, and he's the first back really in the time we've been doing Centennial that has the ability to go the distance. He can go at 90 yards. He can grind you out. So they have a durable back, a big play back that's going to provide some tests tonight.
Thank you, Brian. Let's hear from BHS head coach Paul Gola.
We do what we do. You know, from game 1 to game 14, we're going to preach to our kids that we're going to try to be better detailed and play with more emotion than the opponent, and that's how you're going to win. It's just when you know your system and you have answers and you put together that one. We talk about winning today. You know, Lou Holtz talks about win today, what's important now, and we talk about since January. So for our kids, it's not a big motivator. We don't have to motivate them. It's, you know, everyday goals that they set with their coaches and video. And so we're looking to get better every single day, and we look at every day as an opportunity to get better. You know, it's going to be an exciting game. We're looking forward to the challenge that Centennial is going to bring. It's just another opportunity for us to get better for the playoffs, and we expect a great game. We expect to see a great passing game, and you know we want to get some pressure on him and then drop. We want to mix it up on him. You know, he's a 3-year starter, so he's like a coach out there as is our quarterback, and it's something where you just can't really sit in something. So we're going to try to mix it up, get after him, and drop, and again try to not give up the big play. That running back's pretty special, and we got to take away the back out. You know, him going out on some passes, and we got to contain him and make him drive the field, not give up big plays. I don't know if it's pressure. It's exciting. You know, that's why you play the game, and that's why you want to be part of this. You know, and so I don't know if it's pressure, but it's exciting. Our kids are obviously going to be emotional.
Thank you, Captain. Well, Matt Alvarez, I'm hearing you on the news. I'm hearing you everywhere. But tonight, we need your brain. We need your numbers. We need your homework. The Golden Hawks, they're awfully high ranked, and boy, the pressure's on.
Well, they may very well be the real deal, Vance, but tonight's going to test them against this BHS defense, as Brian mentioned. But, you know, they go with Cody Kessler. They go with Sean Johnson. They have the 5th best receiver in the county in Tim Martinez, so they have a lot of options on offense, and they also have a defense themselves that can hold their own, Vance.
Let's hear from the head coach of this great vaunted offense, Coach Nixon. Coach?
Pretty exciting. You know, we got a great group of kids. They have been working hard. They have great attitude, and we're having a lot of fun playing football. I think we've developed pretty nice. You know, we've had some receivers that were younger guys that have stepped in. We've had some veterans that have brought them along. We've had our linemen that, you know, we only had one returning starter on the offensive line, so our line have really stepped up. They've been battle tested and has really done a nice job for us there. Sean Johnson's done a nice job of being our running back and making some big plays, taking some pressure off of Cody, and Cody's, you know, exceeded expectations. I think defensively, you know, our returners have gotten our younger guys to step up. You know, some of our senior leadership, the triangle of our two safeties and our middle backer has really brought the younger guys along, and they're really starting to gel well and understand the schemes and things we're trying to look into. So very exciting. We're getting 11 guys to the football, and they're playing with a lot of enthusiasm. I think anytime we get the football, we have to be able to finish, you know, get first downs, keep their defense going, getting them out of the rhythm that they like to have. Offensively, for them, we have to slow them down and get them to do things that they don't like to do. You know, they're pretty excited. We treat this as week 8 and in our season, and we know that if we do things well, we're going to be able to go a long way. So we treat it as week 8. We got to stay focused, and we have to get better than what we did in week 7. The kids know a lot more about that than I do. We don't talk a whole lot about that. We talk about who we're playing this week and what we can do to get better on a daily basis.
Thank you to both coaches. Well, Matt, number 7 for Centennial, he's garnered a lot of attention for a lot of years, and this could be the big moment that he shines.
Well, of course, Vance, you know, he comes into this game throwing for 1,658 yards on the season thus far. We know he's going to be playing at USC next season, but this is the night where he can make a name for himself. You want to talk about history, Vance? Bakersfield is the best team in the history of the state of California.
Great point, Matt. He's playing against the all-time greatest high school in the state of California, so he's not at the Coliseum yet. He's playing against the BHS Drillers. I'll leave it to you, Captain. Final thought. You played in some huge games in your high school and college career. A big moment game like this, a big game moment, I should say. What's everybody thinking tonight under these helmets?
You know, the one thing, Vance, is you want us to define a moment. You want to define your career as a high school athlete. You win this one, you have a big game. That's what puts you in the lore and the traditions of talking about you forever.
We got to go. The captains are there. We've got about a minute and a half to get up in the scissor lift. On behalf of Matt Alvarez, Brian Adams, I'm Vance Palm. High school football game of the week. It doesn't get much better than this. BHS, the underdog at Centennial. Back in a moment.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Bakersfield's only sports station that's all sports, all day, every day. Fox Sports Radio 970. With Dan Patrick in the morning and Jim Rome 9 to noon. Home for the world champion Los Angeles Lakers and NASCAR. And now the home for the Bakersfield Condors. No swap shop, no tradio, no cheap coupons. Sports. It's all we do. Fox Sports Radio 970.
Get in the game. The Friday Night Blitz is on. Friday Football Extra.
And it's a complete football package on Sunday night after the NFL. FFX Sunday Night Edition. All the scores, all the highlights, all the stories from the gridiron.
Coverage of your favorite school, plus the FFX Game of the Week. Friday Football Extra.
FFX, the Sunday Night Edition, only on 17 News after Sunday Night Football.
Local football action. Get in the game.
Football season's here and I've been waiting all year. Head high, no looking back, no fear, here we go. Pump it up, let's fuel the screaming crowd. Take it all, this is our town. It's Friday night, hit the lights, let's go all out. Hands in on 3, together we'll shout.
The Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week. Sponsored by Premier Equipment Rentals, Audio Visual Plus, KGET Friday Football Extra, Crab Radio 106.1 FM, and Fox Sports 970 AM.
A very good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Vance Palm alongside Matt Alvarez, Brian Adams down on the grass. We're about to have the football kicked off. Bakersfield High School will kick the football off against Centennial. Absolutely jam-packed stands. Nobody can get in. It took me 30 minutes to go about 100 yards to get here. Bakersfield High School at Centennial. High school football game of the week exclusively on Bright House Networks. This is what it's all about. Friday night at its best, the last Friday night game of October. In 2010, the kick is up and it's deep, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Centennial Golden Hawks at the 20-yard line. Captain Brian Adams, how apropos that tonight starts with the first snap of the line of scrimmage going into the hands of quarterback Cody Kessler.
I'll tell you, Vance, one thing, if you're the drillers, I like that kickoff because Sean Johnson is very dangerous, and now you're making sure that Centennial has to go 80 yards. But let's watch the matchups tonight, see if they can get that pressure with the front guys, the drillers. And let's see what Mercy Masson does at safety.
All right, here we go, everybody. 1st and 10. The Golden Hawks will take over on their own 20-yard line. This is the type of football game that you watch over and over and over, no matter what the outcome, but we certainly expect and hope for a very, very well-played, well-fought football game to incredible coaching staffs. Kessler on a 1st and 10, and he gets it out to Johnson. Johnson makes a nice move at the 23, still on his feet. Oh, boy, still on his feet up to about the 38-yard line. So an 18-yard gain to start things off. And here we go on our Audio Visual Plus replay, Matt.
Well, you see on the AV Plus replay, Sean Johnson making the good move to break away from that tackle right there. Then he cuts back, makes a great move, then he's down the sidelines. And a big gain.
1st and 10, 18-yard gain just like this. Freeze goes in motion. Kessler on a keeper, makes a couple of nifty moves. Stiff arm here, stiff arm there, thrown down to the 35-yard line.
Well, big play by the BHS defense to hold Cody Kessler to no yards gained right there. And you see here on the Audio Visual Plus instant replay, Cody Kessler looking. That was a run all the way for him. Then he cuts back and makes a move, but he lost a yard on that play, so it's going to be 2nd and 11 here.
Kessler right behind center, no shotgun. Johnson behind him, hands to Johnson. Johnson swallowed up the 35, hit hard and thrown for maybe another yard loss by this BHS driller defense.
Well, it was Donovan Rutherford who got in there. He got in there and got the penetration on that offensive line. You see here on the Audio Visual Plus instant replay. Big play by the BHS defense brings up a long 3rd down here.
3rd and 11. Kessler now in the shotgun, stands at the 30-yard line. Has Johnson to his left. In the slot is Freeze. Kessler steps back in the pocket, throws a nice little lob out over to the 40-yard line. It's going to be incomplete. So they picked up a nice 1st down on a 18-yard play with Johnson, but now it comes to a 4th and 11, and all of a sudden, Matt, this huge stiff wind blowing from the south. I mean, it's stiff.
And I was talking to Brian about that before the game. That could possibly play a factor in the air game of both teams, in the kicking game. You never know what could happen, but Cody Kessler is going to be kicking into the wind right now on this punt.
There's a perfect snap. Kessler with the punt, and he gets a nice punt out. Lands at about the 40-yard line, takes a Centennial bounce, and it's going to be down at about the 37-yard line. So, Brian, that BHS defense has to feel good about their first test against Kessler, because they've been thinking about him for 4 months.
Well, Vance, one thing we talked about in the pregame is their defense. That's what they're known for. That's what they've been under the goal era, great defensive teams. And tonight in that first series, they just showed you what they're made of. They're going to get some penetration, but Mercy Masson made the big play from the safety going one-on-one with Cody Kessler, putting him in that 2nd and long and able to blitz on that run play.
Now here comes Brian Burrell. He's a well-discussed quarterback here as they send Nacita in motion. Nacita out to the left. Burrell takes a look. He cuts up. He's in the interior part of the defense, and he goes down at about the 35-yard line. A lot of talk about Kessler coming into this season, but everybody knows about Burrell.
Well, you see here on the Audio Visual Plus instant replay, Burrell. It was designed to be a run, or a pass to the left side rather, but Burrell saw a little hole, saw an opening, took it for about 3 yards. 2nd and 7 now for BHS.
Jam-packed stands. I look behind me, and everyone shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow. There is no room. And we have whistles and we have flags. We'll give you the Kern County Official Association names in the second half. Amongst the many things that happen before a game is collecting the names of these officials, but frankly, I was just too busy. I was talking to head coaches. I was talking to a little bit here and there to boosters, players, former players, alumni. We were hobnobbing with the finest in Kern County. I forgot to get the names. We'll get them at halftime, and I'll have Matt read them to you. 2nd and 12 now for the Drillers.
You've got Burrell here. Pistol formation for BHS. They send a man in motion. Now Burrell looks to the left side, throws a quick pass out there, and it's out of the reach of number 5, Silas Nacita. So it's going to be another 3rd down. So both defenses seem to be holding up pretty well, Vance, here in this each other's first possessions.
Well, you know, the cover of the program tonight for Centennial High School, the home team, it's all about the defense.
Oh, yeah.
Cody Kessler not on the cover of a game like tonight. It's all about the defense. 3rd and 13. Brian, what do you like here?
Well, Vance, you know, one thing I'd like to do is see if we can get Mercy Matson out there in space, but don't be surprised they try a little run play and catch him napping.
A pitch to Nacita out to the left side. Nacita spins, comes back up. He's hit hard, brought down at about the 37-yard line. So Centennial defense holds, and I believe it's going to be a punt for the Drillers. They have the wind at their back, as we see in our Audio Visual Plus replay. A little delayed pitch out to Nacita. Makes a spin right there, but great pursuit by that Centennial defense. A hard hit out there by Christian King, and here's a punt for the Drillers.
No, you said it right, Vance. That was great pursuit by the Centennial defense, and now BHS 3 and out on their first possession. That included a penalty.
Here's a punt. Looks like it's coming up to us here on the Premier Equipment scissor lift. Great punt. 27-yard line, 26-yard line, goes out of bounds. No chance for Maston to make the return. We want to welcome everybody to high school football. Game of the week exclusively on Bright House Networks as we see our Audio Visual Plus instant replay. A great punt. He pointed it perfectly at the sidelines. And we are absolutely stoked to be with you. It's the 29th, but we're going to see a ton of Halloween themes tonight. Well, to me, Halloween and Hollywood are the same. So we're going to see a lot of that tonight. Brian, what do you think Kessler's thinking here on this second possession?
You know, one thing about Kessler's been in a lot of games, he's going to be very patient. But look to him to get Sean Johnson going.
1st and 10. They send Johnson in motion to the right. He has trips to the left. Kessler takes a look, wants to get out on his own. He can't. He's swallowed up and thrown down at the 20-yard line.
Well, you saw BHS brought the blitz there as right before the snap was called, the defensive lineman urging his linebackers to get penetration. They did, and the big sack was made by number 15, David Williams.
2nd and 15. One 18-yard first down on the first possession, but now it's been trouble for the Golden Hawks. Kessler fires it out to the 25-yard line. It's caught out there by the sure-handed Thomas Grimes. You know, we see Grimes now in the slot position, Brian. When the season started, we saw him as a running back and the slot position, but now he's in that number 4 slot. We'll see what happens.
Well, Vance, you know, one thing that Centennial's doing, they're running more of a hurry-up offense and trying to get a snap before Drillers can get set.
Kessler lobs one out, has a man wide open. It's caught out there by Freeze. Freeze trying to get to the end zone. He's at the 20, he's at the 10. Touchdown, Centennial. You said it, Brian. No huddle offense, caught BHS off guard. Touchdown.
Vance, they got to be ready for that. Centennial's done a little difference in their play, but you're going to see Taylor with a quick scramble rollout. He's going to stop, has a man on the sideline with the wind, puts it around the money. And, you know, we talk about big-time players, big light players, my BLPers. He's a BLPer for real, Vance.
Here's the PAT, and it's going to be Christian Williams. Kicker, we saw the 0 week, the first week of high school football. And he has a nice leg behind him. He's kicking into a stiff wind, but it's a PAT. It's up and it's good. So on a 3rd and long, when the Drillers were giving Centennial all they could handle, Cody Kessler in the hurry-up offense. And Matt, it's all yours.
Well, the BHS defense shocked right off the bat as you see the speed of Tyler Freeze here on the Audio Visual Plus instant replay. But one thing I noticed was that there was a lot of movement in those receivers out there on the far side, a lot of crisscrossing routes. So obviously some sort of confusion. Someone lost their assignment on the BHS defense, and that led for a 7 spot being up on the Golden Hawk side of the scoreboard.
Well, not lost on us as viewers up here on top of this Premier Equipment scissor lift was the great block that Sean Johnson laid on the linebacker, whoever that was coming in on the left side. Sean Johnson delivered a punishing blow as a running back with the block that gave Kessler what he needed was about 2 or 3 more feet and about 1 or 2 more seconds, and a perfect pass up into the stiff wind. And hey, that's why he's ranked number 2 in the country. Well, 7-0, and now the Drillers with Mercy Masson will be at the 10-yard line. A stiff wind. Let's see what Williams can do with it. It's a low one, keeps it below it, and it's picked up at the 35-yard line. Oh boy, look at this. Nacita takes it down to the 29-yard line, so a nice play by Nacita. And you couldn't come up with a better scenario after that long touchdown pass as far as momentum.
Well, you see here on the AV Plus instant replay, that
what
was
a
just
move.
what a great move by Nacita, but that kick by Williams, I mean, obviously you don't want to put it up into the wind with that stiff breeze blowing, but then again, it could backfire like that, and now BHS has great field position on the 30-yard line of Centennial, Vance.
1st and 10, 7:57 remaining in this first quarter, just underway.
Looks like they're having an issue with the chains down there, Vance, right below us.
We're going to get it figured out, and here we go. 1st and 10, top-notch officiating crew tonight, as expected. Burrell, right behind the center, keeps it himself, and he gets maybe 1 yard, maybe 2 yards, not much. So you're watching 2 great football teams, 2 very talented quarterbacks, the marquee quarterback in Kessler and the 7th-ranked quarterback in Brian Burrell. So you have the main men at the main position in quarterbacks, but also a lot of great supporting cast here, and it's going to start to play itself out here as they try to chew up some yards, and that's a nice run, a lot of extra yards, and he's still on his feet. Oh, it's a beautiful play out there by number 21, Walter Hunt. Walter's had a very good season, Brian. This is no strange viewing for the BHS Driller fans. They've seen Hunt do a lot of this.
Well, Vance, this is exactly what they want to do, Vance. They want to really grind you out, make some big plays, and then they're going to try to hit you deep with Mercy Matson, making the huge play, the game breakers. But this is what they're designed for, is to wear you down and run the ball with Burrell and the running backs.
The pitch, it's out to the right side, and it's going to be very close to the goal line. He doesn't get in. He's down at the 1-yard line. That's Chris Hannibal. Hannibal takes it down to the 1-yard line. Nice play.
Now you see the audio-visual plus instant replay. Hannibal getting around a big hit there, and then he takes a big hit towards the goal line, but he gets it inside the 1-yard line, Vance.
2nd and 1. Second and goal? Yeah, 2nd and goal from the 1. 6.5 left in the first quarter. Burrell takes it in. Touchdown, Drillers.
Oh, what a way to respond if you're Bakersfield. And this Bakersfield sideline, the crowd is pumped up over here behind us, Vance. You see on the AV Plus instant replay, Burrell gets a great push from his offensive line, and he's able to follow that right to pay dirt, and they're an extra point away from tying this game. You know, Vance, for 2 teams that have such great defenses, Centennial came in giving up only 12.1 points a game, BHS giving up 13.2 points a game. This one is looking like a shootout early.
PAT, the snap, the hold, the kick, and it is good. We're tied up 7-7. High school football game of the week exclusively on Bright House Networks Bakersfield. We'd like to thank our great sponsors. We'll do that in a moment as Burrell hammers the football end, and so we're notched up at a touchdown apiece. First of all, our thanks to Premier Equipment Rentals for these great scissor lifts. We're able to get these great shots. The one you're seeing now comes from the scissor lift we're on. Thank you to Premier Equipment Rentals. Thank you, Lynn and everybody over there. Great sponsor. How about Audio Visual Plus, our instant replay sponsor for all of your Audio Visual Plus needs, including the podium. Audio Visual Plus. And then, of course, our incredible media sponsors. You have to be kidding me. Crab Radio. We'll have our Crab Crush tonight Also, Fox Sports Radio 970. I spend the first 6 hours of every day of my life on listening to the Radio 970, Dan Patrick and Jim Rome. And then I spend my Friday nights watching Todd Strain and KGET Friday Football Extra. Thank you to our director, Bernard Johnson, tonight for running the show. Here we go, 6:34 remaining in the first quarter. Feels like Ollie Frazier, Hearns Hagler, Pacquiao Mayweather. Well, not that fight yet, I guess. Here we go, Drillers kick off. A long boot with the wind behind him, and that's that. Well, Brian, really no shocker here. Two very good offenses and perfect weather, perfect night. 7-7 in the first quarter, no shock.
Well, you know, Vance, the one thing, one of the defense is going to settle down and make plays. Look, we're in store for a shootout. Miscommunication on the defensive end for the Drillers last one to give a big touchdown play. Then an onside kick, or not onside, but a split kick that ended up being a 30-yard return or 40-yard return. But the other thing, guys, is both teams have great special team players. He's going to put a lot of stress on the kicking game, the punters and the kickoff men.
You're starting to hear the wind probably at home in your living rooms. You can hear the wind blowing across these microphones. It's windy out there. Kessler, pump fakes, throws another one. They want to do it again, and they do it again. Freeze just like that, catches it, and he's at the 40-yard line. Did not take long for Kessler and company to come back with another right cross.
Well, it's the same play they ran one offensive play ago, and that scored them a touchdown this time. And there's flags down on the far side of the field. Possibly a horse collar on Silas Nacita, as you see here on the Audio Visual Plus instant replay. Just a perfect ball by Kessler. And let's see if we could pick up what exactly happened. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a horse collar on Nacita. So that's going to tack on 15 more to the end of this run. But Cody Kessler was under duress in that play, Vance. I don't know if you saw, but BHS got good penetration, as they've been getting for most of Centennial's offensive plays. But nonetheless, huge play for Centennial down deep inside BHS territory.
Wow, one play, and they're already at the 24-yard line of the Drillers. Yikes. Kessler right behind quarterback, has Johnson behind him. In motion is Grimes. Kessler to Johnson. Johnson looks to get outside. One move is all it took. Sean Johnson tries to get in the end zone. And it's a flag late on the play. We don't know if it's a bad block or if it's a hold on the defense. We'll see.
Well, Thomas Grimes was down there for Centennial, the wide receiver. That was thrown in the area where it could have possibly been a holding call on the receiver, but let's see what the head referee says. He looks up to the press box, and yes, it is going to be a holding against Centennial. So that one's coming back. But nonetheless, Sean Johnson made a great cut right at the line, broke it to the outside. Looked like he was going to hit pay dirt, as you see here on the Audio Visual Plus instant replay.
Well, I think you're going to see what we've been seeing in the last few weeks, guys, the receivers coming back. You know, it's not good when you see the front of the jersey of a receiver coming back towards the running back, and it's like he was in a position to hold. That's what I was going to think. But the main thing is receiver. Just go. If you get the guy gets off you, go down and pick up the next level. Don't worry about that. A good back's going to make him miss.
All right, so what was going to be first and goal from the 1-inch line is now a 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. So the Golden Knights can still get another first down. Cody Kessler in the shotgun now. It's a brisk, strong wind coming from the southwest, and it's just coming right at this football field, right in Kessler's face. 5:50 left in this first quarter. Kessler takes a look, looks over at Johnson. Nobody in motion. Could be a, oh boy, that was close. Kessler takes a look in the pocket, gets out, has a ton of room, fires across his body, finds his man. That's Grimes. Does Grimes get in? No, 1-yard line. So there we see Cody going to his left, Brian. We saw that a lot early in the season. We saw it a lot last year. Likes to run to his left.
Yeah, he does throw better going to his left, Vance. You've noticed that over the course of his career. But one thing again, the pressure's there, but they don't get him. And then with his athleticism and his decision-making, he's going to put you in a pickle. He's either going to run or he's going to throw it. Either one is going to be a Centennial win.
Well, now it's 1st and goal from the 2. Kessler takes a look, gives it to Johnson. Johnson gets down to probably the 1-yard line, if anything. So it's 5:24 on the clock remaining in the first quarter, 7-7. And our Audio Visual Plus replay just shows a big scrum right in the middle of the line there, Matt.
Yeah, you see here they just hand off to Johnson, and the BHS interior defensive line doing a great job of holding their ground. But the good thing about Centennial is that they have 2 more downs to pick up only 1 yard to get to pay dirt.
Kessler wants to jam it in himself. Flag on the play. The official still hadn't given the touchdown sign anyway, who didn't see the flag, so
It's going to be
a motion penalty on Centennial. Oh, boy.
So Centennial really shooting themselves in the foot here as the players getting up, reacting to Kessler being able to cross the goal line. However, they weren't aware of the flag, but illegal motion call, and that's going to be the second penalty of this drive here for Centennial, so it'll back them up to about the 6-yard line.
If you're just getting to your televisions, high school football game of the week, we see Kessler trying to jam it in there, but all for naught. Motion penalty, 2nd and 6 now. We're tied up 7-7 here in this first quarter. It's pretty much living up to all the hype as far as the crowd, the stands being packed, both sides of the end zone, all the way around, absolutely packed. Cars all the way up and down the streets surrounding Centennial High School. Johnson right behind Kessler. Kessler goes to his right, sees his man, and that's the main man right there, Brody Scott. Touchdown, Centennial.
Well, great play calling by Centennial as they find Brody Scott. They put him in motion before the snap, and Kessler was looking for him all the way. Brody doing a great job of holding on to that ball after he made the catch, and he just dives into the end zone to give Centennial back the lead.
13-7. Here's the PAT, and a flag on the PAT. And if that's, we'll see what happened there. Well, it's going to be procedure penalty, so they get to kick it over. Good thing for the Golden Hawks. Yikes.
Well, another undisciplined penalty here for the Golden Hawks, though, Vance. I mean, regardless of it's whether on the extra point or whether it's on a normal offensive play, but nonetheless, they'll get another shot at this extra point. Yeah, what did happen after that first attempt there by Williams? Notice he's not wearing the fluorescent shoes that he was wearing earlier in the season.
I wondered. All right, so now it's a 25-yard chip shot for the talented Christian Williams. There's the snap, the hold, and right down the middle. So it's 14-7 Centennial. Kessler, first play from the line of scrimmage on this series, threw another 50-yard bomb, and a penalty on top of that put him at the 24-yard line, but it took him at least 5 or 6 plays to get in with a few penalties, and here is a look at that touchdown. They put Scott in motion, as Matt said, and it was just a little tiptoe into the end zone.
Well, there's not going to be a lot of stopping Brody Scott, 6'1", 206-pound junior. They're definitely going to look to him to be one of the big leaders on this team next season, Vance, but taking care of business tonight for sure.
Well, Brian, here's this long pass we're watching on our replay. First play from the line of scrimmage, second series. Boom.
Well, Vance, obviously Centennial's found something they can go to, and don't be surprised they go back to again. But that cornerback's going to have to step up. That's twice he's gotten beat on the same play, and he's really not even close to make a play if the ball was just even held up a little bit. Cody threw 2 perfect passes, but he's got to be able to take that away if they want to have any success tonight.
You know, Silas Nacita was the cornerback that got beat, Brian, and you know what? You could possibly get away with that with any other quarterback in this valley, but not against Cody Kessler.
Well, here comes a pitching wedge. They put this one up, and fumble! Fumble!
What a smart play. BHS looked like they picked up that ball, but what a smart play. What a great play call by the special teams coordinator of Centennial, because you're kicking into the breeze, Vance. You're kicking into a breeze, so that ball's going to hang up there. But what you want to do if you're BHS, if they try that again, you've got to signal for the fair catch. You have to signal for the fair catch.
It's like an infielder or an outfielder, trying to catch a pop-up in the city of Chicago or Cleveland when that wind's coming in. It's just blowing all over the place. So a little bit of momentum drop now for the Drillers. Let's see how they respond. 1st and 10. They go up the middle, and they go to their strong running back in Walter Hunt. And Walter Hunt, by the way, we say that he's so big and so strong, but he's 5'8", 168. He just runs with a purpose.
He runs like he's 6'4", 230, that's for sure. He hits the hole hard. And
like Julian Dean Johnson at North High School. Well, not the biggest guy, but boy, when he had the football, you knew it. 2nd and 7. 4:22 left in this first quarter. They pitch the ball out to number 5, and that's going to be Nacita. Nacita looking for some room. Nice defensive effort there by the Golden Hawks. No flags in the sidelines. That'll bring up 3rd down.
You know, with 4:16 left to go here in the first quarter, as you see Nacita on the audio-visual plus instant replay, holding the ball in the wrong hand there, Vance. Should be holding it in his outside hand, but nonetheless able to pick up a couple yards, make it a more manageable third down here. About a 3rd down and 4.
They have the ball at their own 29-yard line, and they send Cardenas and Maston way out to the right side. Burrell is going to be in that mini shotgun, and he's got Hunt right behind him. Burrell, hard count, nobody jumps, looking for a first down the easy way. Burrell on a keeper. He's going to pick up the first down. Oh, Burrell almost broke a big one. Gets brought down at the 43-yard line. First down drillers. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I was going to say, Vance, with 4:11 left to go here in this first quarter, it's not as chippy as I thought it would be for a game of this magnitude, but you see here on the audio-visual plus instant replay, great job by Burrell to pick up the first down on a big 3rd down conversion here, so puts the ball at about the 44-yard line on their own side of the field.
1st and 10, 4 minutes exactly left in this first quarter. Burrell on a pitch, kicks the ball out to Hannibal. Hannibal looking for some room. Hannibal gets to the 44-yard line. Boy, that's a nice play right there. Very, very close. Nope, they give it to him. So 2 first downs in a row, Brian. Mr. Momentum.
Well, Vance, like I said earlier, this is what they do best. They're going to grind you out, try to really run the ball down your throat, and then they're going to sneak some passes in on you because they have some big play capability guys. But if you're Centennial, you have to start stuffing that run.
Now Centennial taking a timeout here with 3:51 left to go in the first quarter, and the Golden Hawks holding a 14-7 lead, the #1 team in the Valley, Vance.
You know, great story on the cover of the Bakersfield Californian today, not even the sports section, but on the cover of the entire newspaper today about the Kessler family and taking in one of their son's teammates and good friends. And you know, what a great story to bring in Sean Johnson. You know, it's well documented that the Kessler family took in Alfonso Jackson as well. When he was at Bakersfield High School, he played youth league with Cody Kessler. And Brian, it's a great example of everything except for the football and the sports. It's about the other things that make families and athletes and teams special.
You know, and that's really what's made him a special kid, is he's well-rounded. He comes from a well-rounded family that's going to look out for more than, like you said, Vance, everything other than sports, and let sports take care of themselves.
Well, we need to take care of ourselves up here, Matt. We need some parkas and a windbreaker, because now it's picking up. Man, where are we, at the beach? 1st and 10, Burrell. He's on a keeper up the middle. Burrell looks to get outside, still on his feet, about the 39-yard line. So that zone offense that we see so much of now, Burrell taking a good look and a good read. We know all about his arm, but boy, he's got good legs too.
Oh, he does, but a great tackle here by Brock Bays, number 18 for Centennial, to limit the yardage gain, so it's going to bring up about a 2nd and 4 now. But they are on the Centennial half of the field. They are with the wind here, at least for the next 3.5 minutes, Vance.
3:25 left in the first, 2nd and 4. Burrell wants to throw the ball. Finally puts one up, and he overthrows his receiver by a bunch. Looks as if there may be a little bit of communication problem. I don't know, either that or he threw it out of trouble.
Well, Vance, I think exactly what you called it right, the little miscommunication. Burrell thought he was going one way, and Mercy Masson took a little bit flatter break. But, you know, Vance, we talked about in the game, you know, the feel of this atmosphere. Said it's one of the biggest games in the last decade. And if you look around, if we can ever get some camera shots, I know we will throughout the game, people are lined up along the fence. This is a throwback game. This is how it was in the late 80s when I was playing with the Garces in the mid-80s and mid-90s, when you had the 7,000, 6,000 fans of the game.
Wow, a keeper by Burrell on what could have been an option, but a beautiful, beautiful play out there by Jared Norris, intended to go to the University of Utah. What a nice play.
Well, Burrell here on the AV Plus instant replay. Yeah, he runs into a brick wall there in Norris, but that's going to bring up a 4th and 1 here, Vance. Looks like BHS is going to go for it, so both crowds starting to come to life now.
Well, they've been alive, make no mistake about it, but now it's a little bit of a jolt for them. Now they kind of get woke up again. Oh, a hard count, almost got that Centennial defense to jump, but they don't. Now Burrell gets his guys back where he wants them, has a quick word with Van Horn. Now Van Horn's going to go, no, it's Nacita. They pitch it to Nacita. Flag on the play. Nacita picks up the first, but let's see what the flag is going to be.
You know, I think they're going to get BHS an illegal motion here, Vance, as we saw the right wing move before the snap. So let's see what the head referee signals to the press box here. And it is going to be an illegal shift against BHS, so they're going to be forced to punt here. But you can see on the right wing, if Boy, if we could look at that replay, you could just see the left side of, who was that, number 21, Walter Hunt.
Wow, and the Drillers would have had a first. But now, as you say, they're going to go to the air here and put it up and punt it. You know, with this wind, Matt Alvarez would put it off the scoreboard.
No, Vance, I would kick it out of bounds right at the 10-yard. I would put it inside the 5-yard line, Vance. No reason to get a touchback.
All right, Nacita.
That's going to be end zone.
And he puts it into Grimes' hands at the 9. Grimes looking to get to the right side, looking for that wall. But he's going to get, no, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not. Yes, he is. And he gets brought down to the 4-yard line. He was almost down 2 or 3 times, and not a very good return when it's all said and done, Brian.
You know, guys, he looked like he had a good chance to make a good return, and you're going to see right here, if Thomas, right, once he gets that block, he's got to try to come harder upfield, not so much sideways, and just get as many yards as you can, because at that point, you're going to be looking at getting pinned inside the 10-yard line.
Brian, so you keep talking, and we keep seeing big block after big block after big block, some big hits out there, but you're right, didn't make the maneuvers he needed to.
The real problem was that the Drillers did a great job of staying in their lane, so even though one guy got picked off, there's another guy right there that was kind of making him go out to his right a little bit.
Brian, can you feel the wind down on the field? Is it windy down there, or is it just up here?
Oh, you can feel it down here.
All right. Sometimes we're so high up in these scissor lifts, you don't know if exactly the wind is hitting the people down on the field too, but boy, it is. Big hits on that return. Well, here we go. Cody Kessler and the Centennial offense with Sean Johnson to his left and Trips out to his left. Has the ball on its own 5-yard line, and before it goes, a penalty flag thrown way back here, and Coach Nixon not happy.
It looks like they might have taken too much time here, Vance.
Wow.
And it is going to be a delay of game call, so it's going to move the ball to the 2.5-yard line now. And with BHS's vaunted defense, that's not somewhere you want to be, because if they are able to hold them to a 3-and-out, it'll give them great field position. But the last 2 times BHS has pinned Centennial back somewhat, they've come out with big offensive plays.
You know, guys, one thing about the way Cody Kessler is, he just looks at a chance I can throw a 98-yard touchdown pass, so you never know what he's going to do.
1st and 12. He's right behind center. And they hand off to Johnson. Johnson met by this BHS defense, and he gets brought down about the 4-yard line. 2 minutes, 3 seconds left here in this first quarter. You're watching High School Football Game of the Week. My name is Vance Palm. I'm joined down on the grass, as always, with our captain, 13-year Bright House Networks veteran, BHS Driller and UCLA Bruin, Brian Adams. And I'm up top here with Matt Alvarez, Foothill High School Trojan, product of the University of Arizona, and now pretty much a superstar in the local news radio should I say, fraternity sorority. Here we go. 1:38 left, 2nd and 11. Johnson stands in his own end zone. Kessler trying to get some breathing room, punches it through for maybe 1 or 2 yards. That'll bring up 3rd and about 9.
And that's exactly what Kessler was doing there with that play, just trying to get some breathing room, as you said, with a $1:23 left to go here in the first quarter. And then he goes to the sideline, going to get his call from Coach Nixon.
They'd like to do, if they could, I don't think they're going to be able to do it, though. They'd like to
kick with the wind, right?
Draw this thing out a little bit and, you know, let this quarter run down and maybe get a chance to punt with the wind. Somebody do the math for me. 3rd and 9, 1:02 left here in this first quarter. What a nice first quarter. The Golden Hawks lead by a touchdown, 14-7. Kessler takes a look, wants to go to his right, looks to his right, now throws across the middle, has a man wide open. Oh boy, there it is. Tim Martinez looking for the end zone. Will he get there? He's at the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown Golden Hawks. How beautiful is that? 20-7.
Well, Cody Kessler goes 93 yards on this bomb. Obviously some sort of defensive miscommunication, and this BHS team is stunned right now as Tim Martinez
Nobody near him.
All alone running for daylight, and Centennial has shocked the BHS Drillers thus far in the first quarter.
What'd you see, Cap?
Well, Vance, that's what I talked about. When you pin this young man down, he looks in and takes those challenges. And he was able to move up a little bit in the pocket, avoid the pressure, and he let Martinez come free, threw it right on the money, and then Martinez did the rest, running away from the backfield.
Well, here's another look at it. As Brian said, Kessler's in trouble, steps up, now he has a mountain of room, and just floats a perfect little feathery pass right out to Martinez, and now it's just a foot race. And boy, Martinez says, man, I got a long, long ways to go. As he passes the 20, gets to the 10, and he's like, still nobody near me, and a gallant effort out there. But touchdown, 21-7, Golden Hawks.
Well, for a team in BHS that came in giving up an average of only 13 points a game, and for Centennial to put 21 up on them in the first quarter, Vance, what do you think that does to BHS's morale?
With only 45 seconds left when the play went off, or about right around there, deep in their end zone, facing the wind. They're going into the wind now. The quarter's going to switch, and the Golden Hawks are going to have the wind. So, it's all about gut check time early for the most storied, most successful high school program in the history of California. Let's see what happens. 21-7, Golden Hawks will kick into this fierce wind, but not soon after that, not long after that, they're going to have the wind to their backs.
Let's see if they try that pooch kick once again, Vance, and see if BHS wisens up and calls the fair catch this time.
With some great talent right in the middle of this football field, and they do it again. And going to be a fair caught this time, Matt. So they listened to you, and they did the right deal right there, and taken by Dominic Rutherford. So it'll be 1st and 10 BHS Drillers, and they only have 38 seconds with this wind at their back.
Well, I don't think it matters at this point, fans. I think they just want to get back on the scoreboard, because right now, they've had to punt twice. They've given up 21 points on defense. So Cody, obviously, that could be attributed to Cody Kessler and his ability to step up in the pocket and make plays happen. But BHS, it is gut check time right now for the Drillers. They need to respond in a hurry.
And they pitch it out to the right side. A nice play to start things off. Ball taken by Hannibal. Hannibal gets about 7 yards. Is that a flag on the play?
That is.
Oh, boy.
Flag thrown at the 35-yard line of BHS, and it's going to be a procedure penalty against the Drillers. So
it's a nice run, too.
Yeah, negates a very nice run.
Both bands are here in force. The Driller Pep Band right behind us, and boy, they sound great. They sound nice, and the home band, Centennial Golden Hawks band, right across from us tonight. This is, from another country, and you always hear about Friday night lights and high school football in the United States. This is what it's about. 25 seconds left in this first quarter. Burrell on a 2nd and 15. Hands the ball up the middle. A big, hard run by Hunt. And for all intents and purposes, that's probably going to wind this first quarter down with 10 seconds left in it. It's been a fun first quarter. You're watching high school football game of the week exclusively on Bright House Network's Bakersfield. Centennial jumps out to a 2-touchdown lead early, 21-7. Back in a moment with the second quarter.
Bakersfield's only sports station that's all sports, all day, every day. Fox Sports Radio 970. With Dan Patrick in the morning and Jim Rome 9 to noon. Home for the world champion Los Angeles Lakers and NASCAR. And now the home for the Bakersfield Condors. No swap shop, no tradio, no cheap coupons. Sports. It's all we do. Fox Sports Radio 970.
First play, second quarter, Burrell takes a look, finds his man, and it's complete out there to Nacita. Nacita slides underneath the defenders and picks up a first down. Boy, that's just what the doctor ordered for the Drillers.
Yeah, he slid underneath the defender there, Vance, because it looked for a minute that he could have been decapitated by number 8, Michael Martins, on the defensive side of the ball for Centennial. And I think Nacita knew that was coming, so that's why he slid over to second base. Picked up the first down, though, just like you said.
Just underway here, second quarter. Burrell has Hunt standing right behind him. Nacita in motion, they go to Hunt. Hunt battles his way up to the middle of the football field. I think his forward progress will take him right to the middle of the football field. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we've seen a lot of pink all over in the sports world this month, and no different here tonight as the BHS Drillers and their pink socks 21-7 on a 2nd and 4. Burrell stands at about the 46-yard line in the shotgun. Now he's all by himself. Either a pass or with his legs. Could be him on the ground on a 2nd and 4. Looking for 5 yards here for a first down. Burrell takes a look, pitches it out. This time he pitches it out to Brandon Johnson. Don't believe Johnson picked up the first down. Brian, your thoughts on that first quarter?
Well, Vance, you know, it could have been a better first quarter there for Centennial Golden Hawks. They were able to make some big plays against a defense that usually didn't give up that many. But they're only up 21-7 with 3 quarters to play, really. And if the Drillers can get something going, put some points on the board, score here, they're down 7, 1 defensive stand, you score, you're tied up. So I think it's a lot of football left, but I like the way the Drillers ran down into the quarter. No heads down, guys on the sideline, coaches, everybody's positive.
Well, here's a test right here on a 3rd and 4. Burrell on a keeper, keeps it, tripped up after about 2 yards, and 1 more step or 2 more steps, and he has the first down. But instead now, it's going to be 4th and a very long 1.
Well, that was a good tackle by Jared Norris here on the AV Plus Instant Replay. You see Burrell cutting back, and boom, Norris lowering the boom on Brian Burrell, and that's going to bring up a 4th down and 1, like you said, from the 46-yard line, Vance. Obviously, they're going to go for it. They need to put some points on the board.
Jared Norris amongst the top linebackers here in this city. Hobson, Grant Campbell, some great linebackers, and he is amongst the best. And they pitch it out to the right side. Johnson's going to be in trouble. There's no way. No way. They hold him on 4th down.
Well, they run the option again, and Centennial sniffs it out again. The last time they ran it, it was to Johnson on the outside. Centennial all over this one. They knew it was coming. They stopped it. They turned the ball over on downs.
Well, guys, I'm going to give Ryan Arend some credit. Been watching him coach on the Runners defense for a long time. This has got to be the best Centennial defense I've seen that they've had in terms of their ability to run sideline to sideline. There's openings, fellas, but once these driller backs are cutting up, the linebackers and cornerbacks and safeties are coming up, and they're making short gains for the Drillers.
All right, Golden Hawks take over on a first down midfield. Strong win behind the back of that strong arm of Kessler. Let's see how this BHS defense responds. In motion, Grimes. They send him back to the right side. Kessler takes a look, wants to go to the air, but he can run it as well. Kessler to the 50, brought down at the 45-yard line, gain of about 7 yards.
Big gain there by Kessler on the left side, and he has a lot of time in the pocket, something he didn't have a lot of in his first couple of possessions, but his offensive line doing a great job of giving him time here, but then he runs out of time, says, I think I'll take it myself. Swinging the ball a little bit there, but nonetheless picks up a good gain on first.
2nd and 4, Kessler going to be in trouble. Can he get out of it? No, he can't. Brought down at midfield for a loss of about 7 yards. So nice job by that defensive front for the Drillers. They get in there and get him. One thing about Cody Kessler, everybody, he's a very talented basketball player as well. He's got very good feet, very good vision, but not much you can do there. What a nice play by the Drillers, namely, about 4 of them. Kessler drops back, screen play, floated out in the middle to Johnson. Johnson makes one move, gets about to the 49-yard line. Nice job by the Drillers on the 3rd and 10. Really nice defensive effort on this series.
It was a great defensive effort, and it's going to force Centennial into a punting situation here near midfield. You see on the AV Plus Instant Replay just a good pass over to Johnson, but BHS swarming to the ball, and David Williams making a great tackle. So we'll see Cody Kessler about to take the punt. He's standing at his own 36-yard line and back deep for the Drillers.
Low snap, bobbled on the ground. Kessler picks it up end over end. Let's see what kind of bounce it takes. And it takes a perfect bounce. Boy, when it's working, it's working. A low snap. Kessler gets rid of it and boots it down to about the 7-yard line. Here's a look at it. Catches it, scoops it up, says, no worries, my man.
Well, it helps when you're punting with the wind like that, Vance, to get a big roll. And there's not much that Brandon Johnson can do there. He just has to stand there and watch it roll inside his 5-yard line. And now Burrell will take over with the BHS offense having to go 96 yards.
Is that Kaylee Kwashnick? I don't know if it is. I know we have some junior cheerleaders, some small cheerleaders, but that might be Kaylee Kwashnick. I don't know. We'll see. I know she's down there. Oh, big hit at the line of scrimmage. Huge hit as Chris Hannibal took a drill from who else but Brody Scott, but he hung into it. Early call for the Crab Crush. Watch this. Bam!
Boom.
But I don't know if you can call that a Crab Crush.
Yeah,
if the
you
running
can't
back,
get any crush if you don't hold him up and he gets 3 more yards afterwards.
If the Hannibal man stays in there and goes 3 more yards, that was kind of a crab clip. 2nd and 6. Burrell, hard count, nobody goes. Drops back, has some time, now goes to his left. Has a man open, a man wide open downfield. Oh, goodness gracious. Chris Hannibal standing by himself at about the 25-yard line, nobody near him. But I just think that Burrell was just in so much duress.
And I think you're exactly right, Vance. He was under so much pressure. He's just trying to see if he can plant a lane to run. But if his head would have been up just for a second, he could have made the same kind of play Cody made on the big 95-yard touchdown.
3rd and 8. A defining moment early in this football game right now for these Drillers. If they don't get a first down here, oh, no flag. Nobody pulled the flag. Nobody called it. Oh, boy.
Well,
now they do.
They're going to call it now because they don't have 4 men on the line.
Exactly.
Matt Alvarez calls it out. We saw a ton of movement there right before the play. No call, but then, Matt.
You see here on the AV Plus Instant Replay, it was number 18 there. It was Chris Hannibal for BHS who didn't get off, or who was on the line, and then it looked like he did get a false start, but he covered it up. He masked it by stopping himself, but then again, that put them without 4 men on the line. Or, I'm sorry, without 4 men off the line. So they had 5 men in the backfield, so that's an illegal formation.
They're having problems, guys. Here's a guy coming on late, 2 guys coming on late, so right now the Drillers are not focused like they need to be.
So David Williams Jr. runs on late, 4th and 7, and a snap, and Nacita's going to have to try to get something. What a nice punt. Takes a really nice bounce. Grimes would think about picking it up, but you couldn't have asked for a better punt for the Drillers. And Silas Nacita, hey, that's a 65-yard punt into the wind. What? He kicked it at the goal line or in behind the goal line, and it ends up in the 35-yard line.
That is a great punt by Nacita. Into the wind, you want to kick it low like that because the higher you kick it, unless you can get a perfect spiral on it, which not a lot of people could do at this level. But if you kick it low, it's not going to have as much wind resistance. When it hits the ground, it's going to get that bounce like that.
Very smart to kick it end over end. Well, all that really does. Oh, that's what you're laughing at, my math. Wait a minute. 35. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, got it. Well, 35 and 65 isn't that 100?
I'm not a math major, Vance.
Well, you're correcting me. And
from the 7, 43 yards to the
7,
50.
he kicked it at the goal line. He caught it behind the line of scrimmage.
But it goes where the snap is from.
Oh, come on.
It might have gone so far in the air.
Come on, man.
Believe me, I notice these things,
This
Vance.
guy's too much, man. You know what it is? Matt Alvarez. That's what it is. It's already happening. We're in trouble.
Tell him we're playing Sandlot rules, Vance.
Man, oh, man.
We do Sandlot math out here.
2nd and 10, nothing on that first one. 6:17 left in this first half. Kessler takes a look, fires one across the middle, and it bounces off the shoulder pads of Thomas Grimes. He's about 9 yards away, and an Elway bullet right off his shoulder pads.
Vance, right there, hits Thomas Grimes in the shoulder pads, and really Centennial was very lucky that ball didn't bounce up and was intercepted by a Driller.
Well, it did bounce up, but it was fortunate that it was out in the flats because that thing was up there for about 2 or 3 seconds.
When that left Kessler's hand, Vance, that thing was humming. And, I couldn't think of a better quarterback than John Elway to compare that pass to because they both have bullets.
And he wears number 7. Student body right. Well, Johnson goes to the left now, and they go out to the 40-yard line, and it's caught out there by number 8, Michael Martins, but a flag on the play, and a lot of flags have been called from this near side right here, right in front of the BHS Driller bench.
Now it's going to be an eligible man downfield against Centennial. So once again, a big play by Centennial. Wouldn't have picked up the first down, but it would have made it a more manageable 3rd down. But now they're going to be moved back.
Well, on a 3rd and 15 or whatever it's going to be, Brian, it's almost scripted now for Cody to let one fly.
Well, guys, one thing it looks like the defensive line for the Drillers has settled down a little bit now. They're not overshooting them. They're staying and they're corralling them on the last few pass plays in the other series. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But look like they're going to go ahead and punt.
They declined it. So it's going to bring up a 4th and 4. Well, when you have the number 2 quarterback in the nation as your punter on a 4th and 4 at midfield, you just never know. But they do put it up. almost blocked. Maston takes a look at it. Oh, he might be able to pick that up. No, now he has to back away, and look at this. We've seen a lot of really nice punts. All right, do the math for me, Matt, so before I say something foolish.
That's a 51-yard punt by Cody Kessler. So when
Very
you have
nice.
the best quarterback when you have the best quarterback, not only throwing the ball for you, but kicking 51-yard punts that land inside the 5-yard line.
Well, the thing about Cody, he can throw it as far as he can punt it. Almost blocked, though. Nice job by the drillers. Oh, my goodness, that was close. He went right through the line.
Yeah,
right
he did. That's what those guys are back there for, to stop that sort of thing.
Oh, my goodness. He said, who's got him? You got him? I don't have him. You have him? Nope, I don't have him. Uh-oh. First and 10. Hand off. Nice run. 5 or 6 yards there. Exactly what he needs. And Hunt, who really does a nice job of getting those tough yards and brings up a 2nd and 5. That's a good 5-yard run. The drillers needed it.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, Vance, he's one of the guys just lowers his shoulder and hits the hole hard, and picked up some good yardage here is near the 5-minute mark here in the second quarter.
Maston split way out to the left. Burrell takes a look to his left. This time he sends Wise in motion. He goes to his left. Burrell looks. He's in trouble. Burrell's going to go down. No chance. We have not seen Brian Burrell with any time tonight to throw this football.
Well, Vance, when you're trying to come and roll out and give the end for Centennial great credit, he didn't go for it. He stayed right there, kept contained, was able to make a play. And Burrell gets sacked again, so they're going to have to shore up some things at halftime offensively on their protection.
Logan Kuka with a nice play on a 3rd and 8 now. 4:41 left here in this first half. Burrell on a long 3rd and 8. Goes to his right side. This time he's in trouble, and it's going to be completed out there to Maston. Maston still on his feet. Maston to about the 22-yard line, and we have a Centennial Golden Hawk down at the goal line, and looks to be really expressing himself with a painful kick into the ground. And I think it's going to be Alex Trujillo. Oh, my goodness, what a valuable asset to this football team.
Well, it is Alex Trujillo on the ground there at the goal line, but a great job of picking up the first down by BHS. But, I think they got away with a holding call, Vance. I don't know if,
sure did.
It looked like Brody Scott was being held near the line of scrimmage, and I looked at the referee as soon as I saw that, and he reached towards his pocket, and then he pulled away, so... Yeah.
He reached for the holster.
Exactly.
Didn't do it, though.
Maybe
he saw something right there at field level that kind of changed his mind, but we have an injury timeout here. 4:29 left in this first half. Unfortunately, it's Alex Trujillo down on the ground. We want to thank Premier Equipment Rentals. Let's just start off by thanking the great company that gives us this incredible view up here every night. That view is coming from Tony Ombris down on field level. But the Premier Equipment scissor lifts, thank you very much. And how about Audio Visual Plus? Everything you would ever want in your Audio Visual Plus needs, including the podium and the microphone. How about our media sponsors, Crab Radio and KHTY Fox Sports Radio 970. I leave for Delano about 5:15 every morning, and by the time I get halfway there, I'm turning on Dan Patrick, and right after Dan Patrick, it's none else than Jim Rome. I spent about the first 6 hours on that station, and then how about Todd Strain and KGET Friday Football Extra, as we see Trujillo walking off with his own 2 feet, which is good to see. Always good to see. 4:29, and Matt, you mentioned, not lost in all of this was a big first down for the Drillers.
Yeah, absolutely. With 4:29 left to go here in the second quarter, they're trying to muster some sort of offense against this very stout Centennial defense. So that could possibly kickstart them here into something big for the Drillers.
First and 10, 4:29 left in this first half. The wind has died down. No wind. Very soft wind now. Let's see if they can take advantage of it. Burrell looks to his left, goes to his right, wants to go long. He's in trouble, though. Burrell trying to get rid of the ball. Can't get rid of the ball. Can't do anything. Swallowed up again by Brody Scott. Scott having a great first half.
Well, they might have wanted to hold Scott on that play because it looked like he got in relatively uncontested here. As you see Burrell faking the pitch on the AV Plus instant replay, and he just runs out of time. Scott says, That's all mine. And a big hit after the play there, number 24.
Late
That's
hit.
Trent Miller.
Brian?
You know, Vance, somebody on the offensive line has to get together and make a decision that they're going to protect him and give him some time to make some throws.
You're right. 4-man rush right now. And Burrell runs to his right, takes a look, fires one out, and almost picked off. And boy, Tyler Thornton had a beat on that one. That's the first time we've seen Burrell really unleash one, and it was a hard bullet, but man, Thornton almost picked this off.
Yeah, Thornton almost picked it off, Vance, but then again, the pass was almost completed to Nacita, and if that had happened, Thornton was going all for broke. So if Nacita could have possibly reeled in that ball, he was going to go the distance.
3rd and 16. Cardenas runs in the play. He's going to give it to Burrell very quickly. 3:43 left in this first half. Been a very, very good football game, but Centennial with a 2-touchdown cushion right now. And a lot has gone right on their offense. This offense for the Drillers has been struggling. Let's see, looks like a blitz. They pick it up this time. Burrell takes a look and fires it out to the right side. What a beautiful pass and a very good catch by Johnson, but about 4 yards.
Yeah, after all said and done, you know, it did bring up about 4 yards there from the original line of scrimmage. A great pass and a great catch by Matson, but, you know, he's momentum carrying out of bounds there, so it's going to bring up yet another punting situation for the Drillers.
4th and 16. Nacita, perfect snap, by the way. He comes out and hammers another one. This time Sean Johnson takes a look at it, bounces backwards, continues to bounce backwards, and stops right at midfield. So right at the 50-yard line, exactly in the middle of the football field, and Cody Kessler will come out with his offense and see what they can do. They have a 2-touchdown lead, 21-7. High school football game of the week. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm Vance Palm. I'm up top on the scissor lip with Matt Alvarez, and down low on the ground, Brian Adams, our captain. Played 4 years for the Drillers, 4 years for the UCLA Bruins, and been in a lot of these big games, called a lot of these big games. Brian, 2-touchdown lead for the Golden Hawks. The Drillers are still in this, baby, but with 3.5 left in this first half, if the Golden Hawks put another one up, it's going to be a big road to big mountain to climb in that second half.
Well, Vance, the one thing you know about the Golden Hawks, they like to finish quarters, and you don't want them to finish one right here. If you're the Drillers, you got to get a stance right here and get the ball back.
Kessler gets out of trouble, but then gets back in trouble. Couldn't get away, so the defense for the Drillers have had a couple of big sacks for some big losses, and that's what they're going to have to keep doing, putting the pressure on Cody.
Yeah, but Centennial has countered that with big plays at the right time, so you know you can never count Centennial out, whether it be 2nd and 19 as it is right now, or whether it be 3rd and 26, and you see Trujillo with an ice pack there on his left ankle. And he's getting some water, and that's definitely a big loss because he doesn't only play on the D-line, Vance. He starts on the O-line, so that's a big loss.
Our director, Bernie Johnson, telling us he's the only returning starter on the offensive line. Thank you, Bernard. 2nd and 19. Kessler hands the football off, and it's Johnson trying to make something happen up the middle, and it's maybe a yard, maybe 2 yards, so 3rd and 19. The Drillers have had some good stops, but there's been a couple of long pass plays that Kessler's turned into some beauties, just some beauties.
Well, what do you do now if you're BHS and it's 3rd and 16? I mean, they've seen this before. This script has already been written. What do you need to do now defensively to change it up to make sure it doesn't happen again?
Well, Vance, Matt, one thing you have to do is they just have to take care of the assignment. If you're playing man-to-man, stay with your man and let the defensive line do the job, but make it be a tough throw for Kessler. He hasn't had to make a tough throw on 3rd
Low
down.
snap. He's in trouble. He gets hard. Big hit out there by Dominic Rutherford. And, well, Brian, Matt asks, you answer, you throw it back to Matt. It's just perfect TV.
Right on cue, Brian. Great call, and they brought the huge blitz there. Dominic Rutherford was the one who got in there uncontested, and now BHS is going to take a timeout with $1:53 left. A big hit there on Kessler on the AV Plus instant replay. And BHS is going to get the ball back with 1:53, and they're going to have 2 timeouts left after this first one.
Wow, working with you guys, pretty easy. Pretty easy working with Brian and Matt. I think I'm going to have to take you guys to lunch here sometime this next week. Why don't we meet at Subway?
No dollar menu at McDonald's?
Nah, I'll go foot long. I can support that. Is that Kaylee Kwashnick I'm trying to figure out who Kaylee Kwashnick is. Her father saw that I was in dire need of getting close to the gate because I couldn't park anywhere. I thought I was going to have to park over at River Lakes Golf Course. Scott Kwashnick picks me up, puts me in his truck, drives me right to the door, right to the gate.
You didn't get the VIP parking tonight, Vince?
I did. I didn't need it. I got pulled right up in here. All right, Kessler, 4th and 23, back to punt.
Remember, the last punt almost got blocked, Vance.
High snap. Ooh, grabs it. And here's a nice punt by Kessler. It's going to be taken to the 27-yard line. That's Maston looking for some space. Picks up some space. Maston. Oh, a massive hit at the sidelines. Who else? Jared Norris. Norris popped him on the way out. So two great athletes meet toe-to-toe right there on the sidelines. What a nice block he picks up right there. And look at this hit.
Yeah, there's a couple big hits going on there. 36-yard punt for Kessler.
Bam!
Oh, he gets knocked out of
That
bounds.
could be a crab crush.
And you would that came from a guy who you'd expect. That's Jared Norris, the Utah commit. So
oh, it's so funny now to hear the guys in the truck starting to qualify what a crab crush is now. No, stayed on his feet. Yeah, but he lost his helmet, lost his head, can't even stand up anymore. 1st and 10. Burrell hands the ball off to who else right up the middle? The gigantic 5'8", 168-pound Walter Hunt, who takes 4 or 5 players with him every time. We have a timeout, and it's going to be taken by the Drillers. They have a $1:33 left in this first half. They're going to try to make something happen here.
See here on the AV Plus instant replay, Hunt, just like we said, I mean, he hits the hole hard and he doesn't go down very easily. You know,
runs low, huh?
Yeah, I don't even know if he went down on that play, but good job by Centennial's defense. This is really where Centennial's defense needs to step up yet again to prove that BHS's offense just can't run on them, you know, right now with 1:33 left. If they can keep him out of the end zone, that's a huge win for Centennial's defense right now.
1:33 left in this first half. Sure hope you're enjoying this exclusive full game coverage by Bright House Networks Bakersfield. A lot of handshakes, a lot of dignitaries here tonight. Congressman Kevin McCarthy right down below us, and maybe Brian, maybe you could catch the congressman and see what his thoughts are and see what his plans are tonight, see what his thoughts are in this big football game. 2nd and 6. Burrell goes to his left, looking for some time. Back to his right, not a bad play. It's going to be taken out there by the speedy Walter Hunt, the powerful Walter Hunt, and a flag at the end of the play. What do you think, Matt?
Looked like it could have been in the area of a face mask being called.
Ooh.
So if that's the case, then that's going to be a huge boost here.
Oh, holding.
So yet another receiver.
This Driller crowd doesn't dig it. Driller crowd voicing their frustration and anxiety here on that call.
So that's a big play now for Centennial's defense as that went from a potential first down, and they move it 10 yards back from the spot of the foul. So it's going to be 2nd and 9 here, just on their side of the 50-yard line with a $1:22.
2nd and 8, Burrell. That mini shotgun. Takes a look to his left, fires one, and it's caught. Oh, it's dropped. Goodness gracious, what a perfectly timed hit by Zach Clayton. That was as close to a perfectly timed hit to cause an incompletion as you could get. Watch this. Boom, just right on impact. That football hits the hands of the receiver and knocked out.
Well, you know, this brings up a great question. What do you do here on this 3rd down play? You know, obviously you go for the first down, but do you keep it on the ground or do you risk throwing an incompletion and giving the ball back to Centennial with a minute left on the clock, knowing full well that they have that deep threat every play?
Looks like a pass play, or it could be Burrell keeping it. He steps back, throws out to his left. He's going to need a good move. Oh, he has all this real estate to the left. He fumble! Oh, goodness. I think we all saw what everybody saw. John Will had a huge chunk of real estate to his left, went back up into the middle, a nice catch and a nice run, but then, as you won't see here, but to the bottom of your screen, it's all real estate, and then look at this hit right here. And it's stripped, not a huge hit, but just stripped out there. And, hey, guess who's on it? Brody Scott. So, Matt, that answers your question. Nice pass play, but in the end, here comes the Golden Hawks with 62 seconds here. Strong wind starting to pick up again, and they're at their own 35.
Well, they have a great kicker in Christian Williams, and if they get into field goal territory, you know, regardless of whether they put 6 on the board or not, they're kicking with the wind now, so gives them a good opportunity to put some points on the board going into halftime.
Kessler right behind right behind the center. No shot. Goes for the hard count, nobody jumps, and now it's going to be too much time, and Coach Nixon just beside himself, can't believe it, wants to know why and how. Delay of game penalty. Coach Nixon, hands on his side. Right there at the top of your screen, upper left corner. He's walking along the sidelines. Must be a very surreal time for him. Be coaching one of the top teams in the state, top team in the Valley. Great athlete, and Coach Kessler, nobody better than Brian Nixon to handle all this.
Well, you know, the one thing with Coach Nixon, if you're a quarterback, you can't be in better hands. He's a great quarterback at Shafter than at BC. Then he went on to college, so great tutelage, and he runs a great program. And here's Sean Johnson.
Johnson swarmed up out there by that BHS defense. Nice job. They did a really good job getting to the football. Clock continues to tick. Under a minute left in this first half.
Well, Centennial has 2 timeouts left, and they can use them if needed, but it looks like they're not really showing that much of a sense of urgency. As you see on the AV Plus Instant Replay, BHS doing a great job of swarming to the ball. And so we're down to 35 seconds left here with Cody Kessler in the shotgun.
Nice to see Congressman at the football game tonight. He knows where the ticket is. Johnson to his left. Kessler fires one out to his left, and it's caught at the 40-yard line by Martins. Clock continues to tick, and will that do it? Will that be it?
Yeah, I think they're just going to be satisfied with a 2-touchdown lead, and now they call a timeout. You know, that's a lot of wasted time there if they were going to try to at least get it into field goal range.
Well, we'll see what that's all about. They stopped the clock with 11 seconds to go. Maybe they just let one fly. It's 3rd down. It'll still have a 4th down if it's an incomplete pass. Matt Alvarez joins me up top on the scissor lift. And Brian Adams down on the grass. Matt, are you with me tomorrow night at BC?
Oh, yeah, I'll be there. It's going to be a good little homecoming game. Nice little Halloween-themed tailgate.
You asked me earlier if you could dress up on the sideline for your sideline reporter. I have one thing to tell you. Do whatever you want to do, but just keep in mind who the head coach is down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've known him since I was 5 years old.
You try to go up to Chudy
dressed
with
as
some pirate uniform.
Dressed as Maverick from Top Gun.
All right, here we go. 3rd and 5. Kessler right behind center. Nobody's jumping. Bobbled snap. They get it out to Johnson. So after that timeout, perplexing play. And they call one more time, do they?
I think BHS called the timeout there because it's going to bring up a 4th down now.
Well, with yeah, it's 4th down, but maybe Coach Gola's thinking possibly a fumble return for a TD or a block punt if they punt, but can they just run around in the backfield and kill 4 seconds?
Yeah, that's what I would think they would do, Vance. That, you know, you don't want to risk having a blocked punt here, but if you do get the punt off, you want to punt it out of bounds. But, you know, if you really want to take some numbers off the stat sheet, I guess you could run around in the backfield for 4 seconds. That's not too much time, but, you know, then you risk possibly an injury. And what's the easiest way to go here? I think it's probably just to punt it.
Well, I think Coach Gola wanted to get his guys together real quick and say, here are the possibilities. Don't be fooled by this. Don't be fooled by that. You know, but then again, he stopped the clock. So 4 seconds left.
Or you could risk Cody Kessler's number and just have him throw it as far as he can into the
well, I think if nothing else, Gola's given an opportunity for this. Looked like the clock was going to run out, so now all of a sudden Coach Nixon says, all right, let's see what we can do. Kessler punts it, and that's a pretty smart play. And that's it, the end of the half. I don't know what all the action is down there. 21-7, the Golden Hawks have a 2-touchdown lead as they go into halftime. What a football game. We appreciate everybody in with us. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, the 3rd quarter of this blockbuster game on Bright House Networks.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Bakersfield's only sports station that's all sports, all day, every day. Fox Sports Radio 970. With Dan Patrick in the morning and Jim Rome 9 to noon. Home for the world champion Los Angeles Lakers and NASCAR. And now the home for the Bakersfield Condors. No swap shop, no tradio, no cheap coupons. Sports. It's all we do. Fox Sports Radio 970.
Welcome back, everybody. What a special halftime that was. I mean, this is the kind of game where everybody's here, so we're saying hi to everybody, and everybody's yelling our names, and we're yelling their names back, and here we go. Kickoff, second half. Drillers trail by 14. The ball's taken at the 10-yard line. A lot of real estate out here to the left side. Let's see what they do with it. Johnson looking for some room, takes a couple of big hits and gets pushed back about 6 yards. There's forward progress. Gets him up to about the 33-yard line. I'm Vance Palm. I'm joined up top in the scissor lift, Matt Alvarez, and down on the grass, Brian Adams. Wow, Kern County, what a halftime. I'm talking to Congressman Kevin McCarthy. I'm talking to Manuel Calvin and Todd Ward, two of the California State champion basketball players for BC Renegades. I see Cedro Porter down below me with his San Francisco Giants baseball hat on. I said, Cedro, I saw you 2 nights ago with the Texas Rangers hat. Come on, my man.
Yeah, everyone's jumping on the Giants bandwagon now, up 2-0.
You can hear the wind now in our microphones, and there's just no way we can stop it. It's coming right at us. Burrell fires one into trouble, and Nacitas with a great catch looks to get outside. Nacitas caught that with about 4 Golden Hawks right around him. Burrell just put that right into a tiny little pocket. So Kern County, I want to let you know now tonight, as you're listening to the second half, not a lot we can do about that ambient wind sound is coming right at us, Matt. This is a very, very strong wind.
Well, that's another thing that happened during your little halftime experience there, Vance, was that wind picked up a good deal. And, you know, us being 40 feet in the air, and this thing is rocking and swaying. I love it.
Don't get nervous. 1st and 10. Nacitas takes the handoff, goes right up the middle. The Driller Nation now starting to like this. They see this pound it right up the middle football. And now we're starting to see debris fly all over the football field, and it's coming straight from Cal State. Oh, my goodness. Matt, hang on to our monitor. To answer our director, Bernie Johnson, yes, we have the wind socks are on, but the wind is on. Here's a nice look at this play right here. They hand it to Nacitas in motion, and he just pounds it right up the middle. And here we go, 1st and 10, Driller football. Burrell puts Nacitas back. Here they come again. Will they do the same play? They do. They go right up the middle. This time Nacitas pounds it up to about the 32-yard line. This Driller crowd likes it.
Well, BHS needed a spark to start this second half, Vance, and it looks like they've done just that. As I say that, the head referee says that there's a penalty against BHS, so that's going to move them back.
Wow.
And we have that referees list, and we'll give those to you in just a moment. The Kern County's Officials Association. So that's going to move BHS back to the 49-yard line. I'm afraid to let go of my kettle corn, Vance. It might go flying into that BHS crowd.
Hey, well, here's the deal. If you let that kettle corn go now, the good thing about it, it's going to land on people 100 yards to the north of us, so they're not going to even know.
Yeah, it's going to land on Hageman.
They're not even going to know who dropped it. Just underway here in the third quarter. What a football game we have unfolding in front of us. The Golden Hawks with a 2-touchdown lead to go into halftime. Burrell now hands the ball off to Johnson. Oh, Johnson gets tripped up. I think he might have caught the back heel of his teammate out there, and it looked like he hit Walter Hunt.
It looked like he hit Garrett Black, his offensive lineman. Right there, his left foot getting caught. And that's great camera work there.
So one pink sock after another. He goes down, 2nd and 14. So a penalty and now a loss of 4 brings up at 2nd and 14. 10.5. Matt's got his windbreaker on. I'm expecting him to break out gloves and beanie here in a moment. They go to Nacita. They go right back to the old flame board right up the middle. They go right back to what gets them there in the first place, close to a first down.
Oh, sorry, Vance, after 5 years in Arizona.
Yeah, it's like Matt feels, he thinks he's in Fairbanks, Alaska right now. You know, it's a strong wind, bro, but it's still 70 degrees.
After 4 years living in Arizona, anything below 80 is jacket weather. So
You're right.
big third down here for BHS, Vance. Big third down.
Right at the 10-minute mark. 3rd and 4. Very brisk wind. Nacita, they do it again. Nacita does it again. This time he takes a big hit late in the tackle by Tyler Thornton. All right, Brian, let's go down to our veteran big game player, college player. Now the elements started to kick in. This is just no normal win now. First and 10. Nacita muscles up to the 30. Sorry, Brian, threw it down to you. We're working on Brian's microphone right now.
So you've got a 2nd and 7 here for BHS at the 30-yard line of Centennial now with 9:17 left to go here in this third quarter of play.
Wow. Kevin is on the south scissor lift, letting us all know about his displeasure right now. The wind is howling.
Look who came in from the backside and made that tackle, Vance. It was number 44.
Look at the shot
Cody
right
Scott.
there. That gives you some kind of an indication of how strong this wind is.
And we're just about as high as that flag is, Vance, so we're feeling it as well.
Right now, my dog Lucy is at home just, I can hear her right now just whimpering in the back corner of the patio.
Gives me as good an opportunity as ever to bust out my BC windbreaker, though, Vance.
Saw Coach Judy at halftime. Saw my Renegade Radio road partner, Kirk Boyer, who'll be on the air with me tomorrow night. It was a who's who tonight at halftime. Burrell looks, wants to go to the corner, has a man open, and a flag is on the play. And Mercy Maston, very demonstrative in his reaction to that play. I think he's more upset. Yeah, the flag's going to be called, but he thought he had a touchdown.
Exactly, Vance. He was a little upset that he had a touchdown robbed from him. As you see the referees discussing things, and Brian Burrell here on the AV Plus Instant Replay. Perfect ball thrown into that stiff breeze. And
well, the infraction was before that. You didn't see that in the replay. Right there, it looked like great defense, but the infraction was right before that.
Yeah, Tim Martinez, who has a touchdown already tonight for Centennial, he was the one who was holding Matson along the far side.
The officials will mark it off.
Beginning to look like a yard sale out there, Vance.
Well, there's everything on that football field. Napkins, hot dog wrappers, confetti, cheerleader pom-pom strings. First and 10 drillers. Burrell on a keeper, cuts back up. Burrell still on his feet, hung onto the football, almost got stripped away. First down drillers from the 8-yard line. Looks like it might be 1st and goal. Let's see if they move them up. No, sorry, 2nd down, everybody.
Well, what a great move by Burrell. You see here on the AV Plus Instant Replay. Watch Burrell make the great cut right there, get around a good host of tacklers. Then he gets down inside, or just right at the 10-yard line. Like you said, Vance, it's going to be 2nd and 1 here for the drillers.
So it'll work out even better. They'll get a chance to get another shot at a first down here. Handoff goes up the middle, and it's Hunt, and he's still on his feet. You think I'm kidding when I say he's hard to bring down? All 5'8", 165 of him, and he is no easy tackle. Hunt, again, burrows his way to a first down, first and goal.
Well, credit Hunt for staying up, but look at Tyler Thornton trying to rip the ball away there with his right hand. And, you know, that's why Hunt was able to stay up for so long, but he did get the first down. It's going to be a first and goal at the 5-yard line.
Wow. Reminiscent of the Mitchell brothers, the president and the vice president, Peter and Alex. Okay, here we go. First and goal from the 5. Early goings here in the third quarter. Big, big moment here for the Drillers. Burrell. They hand the ball off, and it's given to Hannibal. Hannibal plows forward, gets close to that goal line. Here we go.
So BHS needed that spark to start off this second half, and they've got it thus far. They're down inside the 2-yard line as Hannibal off the right side picked up a few yards, and it's going to be a second and goal at the 2.
Everybody packed in tight there, but they pitch it. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Wow, on a 3rd and 2.
Well, let's see what the call is here, but that was a great play by Matt Johns to make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage there.
Here they go, Centennial cheerleaders. They have the Bright House footballs. Let them fly, ladies. Let them fly.
You're going to see how far they can fly into this breeze.
Well, they're throwing them at the 50, and they're blowing down to the 20.
So now this is 3rd down here.
Oh, sorry,
for
3rd and 2
BHS.
now. Do they punch it in? Burrell, they say he got in. Did he? The Drillers are saying he did. Touchdown, BHS. They're letting the streamers and the confetti go, and it promptly makes its way to the parking lot. It's gone. Touchdown, Drillers.
Oh, the Drillers close the gap here as Burrell gets inside the goal line, breaks the plane. That's all they need. And that's just what the doctor ordered, as I'm sure Coach Paul Gold gave him a very stern halftime lecture.
Well, here comes Parker Campbell for the PAT, the snap, the hold, the kick, and it is up, and it is good. Well, Brian, a methodical, plodding, very intentional drive by the Drillers, chewed up some clock and got in the end zone. That was nice.
Well, Vance, that's exactly what they wanted to do, Vance. It took almost 6 minutes off the clock. Like you said, very methodical. They did what they do best, and that's pound you. And now they're only going to be down 7 points. A great defensive stand. If you can pound them again, you tie it up. So, again, the one thing about the Drillers we've seen this throughout the year, teams getting down when they've gotten down in the scoreboard. You never saw that with the Drillers coaching staff or the players, and they're right now in the thick of this game.
Brian, while you were away, our rookie Matt Alvarez was hoping to find some gloves and a parka and a beanie, and he said being in Arizona for 4 years, it feels like cold weather. But Matt, it brings up a great point. It's not really cold, it's just windy, so it's not as if the players are having to worry about, their hands getting cold or catching hard passes, or, it's just the wind that's taking place here. It's not freezing, you know what I mean?
Right. And, one thing I couldn't experience in playing football, playing high school football and playing football through a year of college, is that when it gets windy, your hands get dry.
That's a good point.
Your hands get dry, and it's harder to catch the ball, but a lot of these kids wear gloves now. But
what do you see for the kick here, Matt?
Yeah, I think they should go back to the pooch kick.
Well, they float this. Look at this ball. It's coming backwards. Fumble! The ball in the air started floating backwards. Unbelievable. I don't know if our cameras even caught that ball in the air. The ball starts to float backwards in the air.
That is amazing.
Right about here, it starts to come backwards. It's coming backwards. Oh, my gosh.
Well, Brody Scott, as we have an injured Centennial player, and that's Tyler Thornton on the sidelines. That's a big loss right there if he can't find his way back to his feet over by the Centennial sidelines.
And now the dust's starting to blow from the track infield. And that was really something else. I don't know if I've ever seen a football coming backwards.
You know what, Vance? My sophomore year at Foothill, we did the exact same thing because, to be honest, we didn't really have that great of a kickoff coverage team. So we were forced to pooch kick it. It was a pretty stiff breeze day. I hit it about 20 yards. One of our guys actually caught the ball, one of our guys caught the ball, but they called it a flag because, of course, you have to let the ball bounce first. But none of us knew that.
Wow.
Because we'd only tried to bounce the kick on an onside kick, not on a pooch kick.
That was really incredible. I don't know if our director Bernie's even able to do it, but I don't know if Bernie's able to replay that in real time. I don't know, Bernard. If Bernie can replay that in real time sometime, that would be nice to do it in real time to see that ball. And now this Driller sideline is up. They're pumped up. They've scored a touchdown, but now Cody Kessler puts everybody where he wants them. 1st and 10, about a 45 to 50 mile an hour wind is my guess at his back. Kessler out to the right side. Johnson drops the football. He drops the football with a ton of real estate.
Well, just as we were talking about, Vance, Johnson is wearing gloves, but the wind can affect the flight of the ball. And you see here on the AV Plus instant replay, Johnson, like you said, had plenty of real estate.
Oh, boy.
I think that was just a case of him turning his head before he had the ball secured in his hands.
He wanted to go. He wanted to go. 2nd and 10. Brian, what are your thoughts here on offense?
Vance, one thing they got to take advantage of is when Cody Kessler and Centennial with it behind them. Because if they have to try to pass into that, when you saw what happened on that kickoff, it could be very dangerous.
Well, he's thrown 2 long touchdown passes into the wind. This time Grimes on an inside handoff gets drugged down about the 45-yard line. A nice play call right there. He threw everybody off.
That was a good play call indeed. You see on the left side, Grimes just takes it, and he's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2 here. Grimes faking everybody out on that play, but good tackle on the outside by Mercy Matson.
Well, I guess I could be accused of the understatement of the year when I saw Congressman McCarthy on the sidelines. I said, Big Tuesday coming up, huh? He goes, yeah, pretty big. Well, here's a big 3rd down right now for the BHS Driller defense. On a 3rd and 3, they go for the hard count. Nobody jumps. Disciplined defense. Johnson has it, though. He's going to get a lot. 7 yards, 1st down.
Well, a good run there for Sean Johnson and a good job by Centennial to get the hard count. That kind of threw BHS's defense off, but Johnson breaking a couple tackles there, and then Matson was the one who ultimately brought him down, but Rutherford put him into the ground with authority.
Big 3rd down right there. They picked it up. Now they kick it out this side to Grimes. Grimes at the 35, at the 40. At the 45 to the 40 to the 37, gets brought down. 37-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and a few. One thing about Cody Kessler, he sure brought a lot of scouts down to Kern County, and these scouts and these college coaches were able to see a lot of other players, Brian.
Well, Vance, that's exactly how recruiting works best for football. If you have a big marquee player, then the other guys get a chance to be seen on the film as well.
This time it's kicked out to Freeze. Freeze catches it, brought down at about the 33-yard line.
That's going to be another 1st down pass for Kessler over to Freeze, the quick and speedy Freeze, who has a touchdown tonight on a, was that like a 90-something or 80-something yard bomb early in the 1st half. But yep, as Brian mentioned, they're going with the wind here. Just under 5 minutes left to go in this 3rd quarter. They're going to try and get as much out of it as they possibly can here at the 32-yard line.
1st and 10, 4:50 here in the 3rd. Johnson on the handoff, looks to get to the outside, cuts back up the middle, still on his feet. There's a flag right in the middle of the football field.
I think that's going to go against Mark Sasso. We'll see what the referee calls here. The referee, Baines Bank, looks up and calls a holding against Centennial.
So what's the call, Matt?
So it's going to be a holding against Centennial, and it looked like it was against Mark Sasso, an offensive lineman, possibly filling in for Trujillo. I mean, you got to think that that offensive line might be a little bit out of whack with the loss of Trujillo, but nonetheless, it's going to bring up a 1st down and 18 here at the 40-yard line.
1st and 17.
And now you got
Coach Gola calls a timeout. Matt, why don't you let us know who these Kern County officials are? They've called a very, very good football game.
Oh, they were busy in the 1st half, but not so much in the 2nd half here until that first penalty called on Centennial just a moment ago. The referee tonight, Baines Bank, the umpire, Tony Robertson, the line judge, Rich Kellenberger, the head linesman, Dennis Wren, the back judge, Sean Ziegler, and in the box, Josh Canales, all part of the Kern County Officials Association.
Baines Banks standing midfield. There he is. Good shot of Baines. Well, in my eyeballs, I'm looking at him. That's not Baines. Sorry, everybody. And Baines gets a quick squirt of water there. He's got a great crew with him tonight. Baines Bank also a stellar tenor. Great singing voice. Baines has performed the national anthem, a lot of events at Rabobank Arena.
So you've got Baines Bank, and you have your other guy, Roy Rogers. What's his name?
Roy Clark.
Roy Clark, the other official. Yeah, some talented musicians wearing the white hats in the Kern County Officials Association.
Kessler gets flushed out, goes to his left. He's going to run. Kessler goes to the sidelines, and he's thrown down at about the 36-yard line.
You know, I don't know so much he got flushed out there as you know, as he just ran the ball that way. But you see here on the AV Plus instant replay, he didn't really have a lot of time in the pocket, so he decided to take it outside himself, and that could have possibly been called a horse collar there against BHS. But nonetheless, it's still 2nd and 13 here as the breeze begins to pick up once again. You see one of Centennial's cheerleaders, one of the 200 cheerleaders they have on their sidelines.
4:24 here in the third. Kessler drops straight back, takes a look, throws one out there, and this wind takes that football 20 yards past his intended receiver. That ball got up in the wind, it was gone, just gone.
Yeah, he was looking for Tyler Freeze. A little bit of a delay route trying to put Freeze on a linebacker, it looked like, deep in the secondary of BHS, but a big 3rd and 14 here, Vance. If Centennial can hold him, if BHS can hold him, it could possibly bring up a field goal opportunity, albeit a long field goal, but this is a big, stiff breeze. In fact, I think Trevor Lancaster, an old Centennial high kicker, holds the record for the Central Section's longest field goal. I believe it's 57.
3rd and 14. 4:18 remaining here in the third quarter. Crowds are starting to get into it now. What a big third down. Kessler goes down the left side of the sidelines, has his man open. Oh, just over the outstretched hands of Michael Martins, and the junior did everything he could to haul that in, stretched himself out, laid himself out, but that ball with a little bit of a wind kick behind it just pushed it just outside his fingertips, and oh my goodness. You know, that's a lot to gauge when you're throwing that football, just how much zip to give it, how much to lay off it, how much is this football gonna take it and run with it.
Absolutely, and you know, it looks like they're gonna line up in an offensive formation, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them do a pooch punt here as Kessler's lined up about 7 yards behind.
Well, Johnson is standing at about the 15-yard line, so no punt. Kessler's gonna go to the air, floats another one out. This one incomplete. Drillers fans love it.
Well, what you would have wanted to do there is you would have wanted to punt it, obviously, or you could have kicked a long field goal, because in high school, if the ball goes into the end zone, they're going to get it at the 20. If the punt goes into the end zone, they're going to get it at the 20. Now BHS has it 15 yards beyond that, Brian.
Captain?
Well, guys, if the wind didn't blow that ball, they had a perfect guy down the middle. He'd either for sure first down and maybe would have scored.
Well, look at this. The Drillers now down by a touchdown, 4:09 left. And they have the ball at their own 36-yard line. Let's see what the Drillers can do. Burrell pulls back Johnson, now sends him to the left. Burrell on a keeper. Takes about to the 41-yard line. Burrell is he's a fast quarterback when he can get outside and get those long legs going, but he runs pretty tentative inside the middle, wants to pick his spot, doesn't want to lose that football. And what a fine athlete he is.
6'4", 200-pound Brian Burrell. He's one of the county's top quarterbacks, but not really known for his running ability, but putting it on display here with this option type offense. It's gonna bring a 2nd and 6 here for BHS.
3.5 left in the third. They send Hannibal in motion. This time the handoff goes up the middle, maybe 2 yards, maybe 3 yards. Hunt was tripped up. If you trip him up, you got him. If you don't get him tripped up, he's gonna get about 5 or 6 yards per carry. Tries to get over there, and right at the last second.
Yeah, very true, Vance, but that's the guy you want in those short yardage situations, that brings up a 3rd and 2. So look for them to go back to Hunt here, or if not, if they want to run that option, but just remember that Centennial sniffed out that option the last 4 or 5 times they've done it.
You're absolutely right, Matt. 4-man front for the defense for Centennial. Johnson goes in motion. They give it to Johnson. Can he get what they need? It's going to be very close. First down. Got it.
A good play call by BHS, and this crowd comes to life behind us as Johnson goes up the left side and makes that little spin move at the end. Was what picked up enough yardage to move the chains. It's going to be a first down at the 47-yard line on their own half of the field, about ready to cross midfield, Vance.
Goodness, this is as hard as I felt it blow tonight. Now it's really hitting the apex of its strength. 1st and 10. Burrell on an option. Look out, fumble! Oh boy, that could have been disastrous for the Drillers. Captain?
You know, Vance, that's one thing when this wind is blowing like this, you got to be real careful on your pitch. If you look at the rotation, the ball didn't really rotate and flip. It was almost like a spiral when he pushed it out. You'll see here on the AV instant replay, that ball never really has that rotation on it. It's almost like a spiral out, and luckily Johnson's able to fall on it. But now you put the Drillers in, 2nd and long, 3rd and long, trying to throw against this wind, not the strength they want to do.
Well, the defense for Centennial, I mean, the furthest guy back is 6 yards off the ball, so there is nobody back there deep. They go on the inside, and it's going to be Hannibal. He's in trouble, and he gets maybe one. That's going to bring up 3rd and 13.
Yeah, they ran a counter on that play, and not a lot doing for this BHS offense on the ground against the Centennial defense in this drive, but you see Hannibal just stuffed at the line there. Great defensive pursuit by Centennial. And a long 3rd down. Looks like you might have to go to the air, Vance. Got to be very careful if you're Brian Burrell.
One and a half left in the 3rd quarter. Burrell takes a look, goes to his right, has everybody coming at him, floats it out there, and it's caught. What a nice pass out there to Brandon Johnson. And he's not going to get the first down, but the fact that he got it out there, floated it out there, and it was caught, this is tough.
You see Burrell here at AV Plus Instant Replay. Yeah, it was, the ball actually started moving back on Johnson while it was in the air, but now this is going to be a tough little punt for Nacita. He's got to keep it low because unless he knows how to put a perfect spiral on it, Vance, he's going to have to keep it low to the ground so that it picks up a roll.
4th and 7. Nacita's back to punt. Perfect snap. Nacita's low, kicks it as low as he can kick it, and it takes a really nice bounce, and it's going to get about to the 21-yard line. About all you could hope for if you're the Driller faithful and Nacita's, and he's hanging his head, but I tell you right now, Silas, that's a very, very good punt under these conditions. If you're not out here tonight and you haven't experienced this, you just got to realize this is a sailor's dream if you're heading to the Windward Islands.
if you're headed westward, that's for sure.
I'll tell you this, it's not a quarterback's dream right now.
No, it's certainly not, and not a special team's dream unless you can get away with a punt like that. Hey, if you're going to eat your kettle corn upwind, Matt, if you're going to eat your kettle corn upwind, you're going to need to make sure I'm not directly behind you when you bobble 14 kernels. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Mark, cover your camera. Matt's eating kettle corn. Johnson gets free. He's at the 50, the 40, the 20. Touchdown, Centennial.
Well, how do you like that? How do you like that, Vance? Straight up the middle they go to Sean Johnson, and he breaks one tackle, and the receivers are playing so far outside that the cornerbacks have no chance to close that gap. Not that they would anyway with Sean Johnson running the ball, but he is gone, and he gives Centennial back a 13-point lead pending this extra point.
Well, at the end of this run, guys, he came up a little limp, and he's over on the sideline. He's not walking. He's walking a little gingerly right there. And usually that looks like some kind of hamstring type of strain or something like that. But
man, oh man.
We talked in pregame. I said the difference in the Centennial team from the past teams, guys, is now they have a home run back. They have a guy who can go 40, 50, 90, and can grind you out. And he's really, to me, what makes this team an elite team and very difficult to beat.
Well, you wonder kind of what happened there in that BHS defense, because it wasn't as if they got blown off the line. I think everyone just thought pass play, because by the time he got to the line of scrimmage, there was no stopping him. He was just gone.
Well, Vance, it was the best call for that run play. If you saw Mercy Matson went in motion with the guys and you knew you had man-to-man, once he breaks through that line and the linebacker side of him misses, it's a wrap.
Thank you, Brian. 27 seconds left here in this third quarter. 14-point lead now for the Golden Hawks, and the Drillers were battling back in this baby. and they were down a touchdown and looking to move the football down the field. The Golden Hawk defense stops and then puts the hurt on them with a 70-yard, an 80-yard burst. And this is the first. We're going to have to lower our scissor lift because it is so high and the wind is blowing so hard that we've got to come down a little bit. There's no getting around it. We have got to come down a little bit. Goodness gracious.
You can see the dirt coming off the track. It's just...
Well, here's a hard kick into the end zone, and it's going to go. So it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for the blue and white. You're watching high school football game of the week. I'm Vance Palm, joined by Matt Alvarez. I've got Brian Adams down on the grass, Congressman Kevin McCarthy before the big Tuesday elections coming up, one of our young guns. And I've bumped into pretty much everybody tonight. You name them, they're here. I mean, Bo Redstone is here. If Bo Redstone is at a high school football game, you know it's big.
Not Bo Redstone, right?
Burrell fumbles, but hangs on to it. Oh my gosh, he fumbles it and the ball kind of blew right back to him. And for all intents and purposes, you would think that's going to do it for the third quarter if they're the drillers. I don't see why they would want to do a play, and Coach Gola says the same thing. Let it roll. We'll take this win to our back. You're watching high school football game of the week exclusively on Bright House. Don't go anywhere. A humongous fourth quarter coming right back.
Bakersfield's only sports station that's all sports, all day, every day. Fox Sports Radio 970. With Dan Patrick in the morning. And Jim Rome 9 to noon. Home for the world champion Los Angeles Lakers and NASCAR. And now the home for the Bakersfield Condors. No swap shop, no Tradio, no cheap coupons. Sports. It's all we do. Fox Sports Radio 970.
It's the most anticipated basketball season in recent history, and the biggest names in sports are teamed up. The NBA and TNT are bringing you the premier matchups every Thursday with sports' most entertaining studio crew.
Chuck, Ernie, and Kenny, must-see TV.
The game is different, and the stakes are higher. From rivalries renewed to rivalries anew, the stage is set for show-stopping drama. Don't miss NBA on TNT Thursdays.
A very windy fourth quarter. Burrell takes the snap and looks to the right side. Pump fake. He's going to go deep right off the bat, and it's just overthrown out of the hands intended for his receiver, rather, of Mercy Maston.
Mercy.
So they went deep. They tried to use this wind right off the bat.
Sure.
Here, Vance.
Brings up a 3rd and 5, though, Matt. Don't kid yourself. Now it's a tough play.
Especially against the Centennial defense. You see Burrell putting that ball up. You know, that's obviously been the problem for both quarterbacks.
Well, he hasn't had a lot of practice throwing with this wind tonight. He's been at the wind most of the time when he's been trying to make a throw. But now, here we go, and I would love to know the wind speed. Come on, one of you guys in the truck. Lick your finger and put it out there that door, and let's see what happens. They give it to Maston. What a nice play call. Maston has a ton of room. Maston gets to the 40-yard line, 1st down.
Well, what you got to love about that play is the offensive lineman running down the field, making the big blocks. And look at Burrell. I think Burrell thought that was a flag down on the field. Looks like a hot dog bun, actually. And you see Maston picking up the 1st down.
Well, will this be a factor? Well, you never know. But could this be a factor? The 4th quarter, the wind at BHS is back for the next 11 minutes and 42 seconds. Burrell on a keeper. Oh, and he slips and takes a punishing hit. Most of that was due to him slipping, but he was hit hard at the end of that play by Matt Johns. One of those deals where at the very last second you go down and, oh boy.
Yeah, more debris beginning to come onto the field now, and that what we thought was a penalty flag was actually a peanut M&M's wrapper as it goes rolling down there right by Brian Adams.
Uh-oh, it's blowing by the truck. Look out, Super Sammy. 2nd and 7, Burrell Takes a look. Wants to go to his left the entire time, and he does. Maston catches it at about the 50-yard line. And everybody's looking for flags. Gola wants a flag. He thought it was a late hit, helmet to helmet. They say no.
Oh, it's a big 3rd and 7 coming up here. You see Burrell in the AV Plus instant replay. Does a great job of hauling it in the wind, and then, looks like there could have been a
and
face
another
mask.
big face mask at the end, so no call.
A lot of things that could have been called there.
3rd and 2. Here's a big one. 50-yard line. Burrell, the dangerous weapon, can do it all. 3rd and 2. Big gap right in the middle of the football field. Let's see what happens. They're going to go up the middle, and that's going to be close. Awfully, awfully close.
Looked like Johnson picked up the first down there, and he did. Wind-aided first down there as he jumped in the air, and the wind pushed him over. You see here Johnson just reaching for that first down, gets airborne, and then able to pick up the necessary yardage, and they move into Centennial territory here with 10:18 left to go. Boy, that flag is blowing straight out, Vance.
Burrell sends Johnson to his left. He drops back. He wants to throw the football. Burrell in trouble, scrambling, can't get free. Finds his man Maston wide open. Well, Captain, that was one of those plays that you look at and go, ouch.
Yeah, that's one that right there, Maston was need to have back because he had plenty of room to run once he caught it. And it looked like more what he was looking at, where he's going to go, but Centennial just dodged the bullet on that one.
Man, that was at least good for 25, at the very least. Well, brings up 2nd and 10. We're under 10 minutes now. Now time's starting to look scary for these drillers. The hand goes off to Hunt. Hunt gets about 4 or 5 yards, and he'll get it to about the 46-yard line. Clock continues to go. Now it looks like we're in a western out in the deserts of the Sierra Madre. The dust is just starting to blow across.
Speaking of western, you see Gage Cameron sitting there on the sidelines of BHS wearing his cowboy hat, holding on to that for dear life there at the 28-yard line on BHS's sidelines.
3rd and 6, 9:26 and counting. Burrell has a big gap right at the middle of the line of the scrimmage, but he decides not to. He's going to hand the ball off to Hunt. Can Hunt get enough? And he does not.
I don't think they have a choice here but to go for it.
Have
Vance.
to.
And with 9:11 left to go here, and it's only a 4th and 1, but you got to think that they're going to go up the middle. They're not going to run that option. They're not going to try to pitch the ball in this wind. And they have the wind at their backs.
Burrell hit hard at the line of scrimmage. He's going to have to battle for it, and he may have done it. His 2nd and 3rd effort may have done it. I think they're going to have a measurement here.
Oh, I don't think they gave him a very good spot, Vance. As you see the judge on the other side of the field standing at around the 40 or the 39-yard line, rather.
No, they don't.
Well, you see Burrell lunging forward right there and then sticking the ball out. He's not down. The ball should be spotted right there where he was sticking it out, and that's not where the ball was spotted.
But he also lost possession of it as he was putting it down. So.
Oh, they may have called a fumble then if that was the case.
No, they didn't call fumble, but they did. 1st and 10. 28-14. Now, Kessler going to try to work this clock. Johnson eludes tacklers 2 times, 3 times. And now he's bulldozed down to about the 33, 34-yard line, but his forward progress brings him up to the 39-yard line. There you go, Matt.
You see the AV Plus instant replay. Johnson just whoop, 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 just making 2 or 3 cuts there. Only able to get maybe a yard out of that.
Well, Brian, that defensive stop right there was huge for the Golden Hawks.
Oh, it definitely was, man. That's just what the doctor ordered for them. They were able to make that 4th down stop and get their Centennial Golden Hawk offense back on the field.
Kessler now goes to his right. He's not going to throw it. He's going to keep it to the ground. And he's trying to make a couple moves here and there. He gets gang tackled at about the 41-yard line. He pops back up. One of the biggest, strongest players on the football field is the quarterback. So it's not as if he's worried about any contact.
You're right. He is a big, strong kid able to break a tackle right there. And then he takes on a host of BHS defenders. But of those 2 plays, they only picked up 3 yards, so it brings up a 3rd and 7 into the wind.
You're right, Matt. 3rd and long. They're going to take the play clock down to the very end of each play with a 2-touchdown cushion. Time is on their side. You're right, Matt. Centennial has about 185 cheerleaders. Kessler, quick little pass out to the left in his grind. Was it backwards? Was it backwards? No, they stay right away. The line judge right away says it was not backwards. Well, you know what? It might have started as a forward pass, but the wind.
So what do you do in that scenario
well,
for a referee?
The receiver was behind the football, but that wind blew it at Grimes, and
he had some Tim Lincecum movement on that one.
Well, you know, one of the things I always watch when these running backs or slot receivers have these passes. Holy moly! Well, look at that.
Somebody put that out. That's on fire.
Wow.
No, Carrot Top played football.
Max Heflin. Kessler. Not a good punt at all, and it's coming backwards. And it bounces to the right. Boy, that's just funky. That's just funky when you're trying to do something like that in that football. Watch this football, everybody. Watch this ball. It just stops. It just stops.
Well, Vance, you want to know the yardage on that one?
Tell me, Matt.
Grand total of 12 yards.
His biggest stat of the night. Okay, Brian. Here comes that driller offense. What's the call? What's the idea? What's the thought process?
You know, Vance, they got to really start getting some movement going on the offensive line, get some space to run, as you see right there. But that's what they have to do. And then they're going to have to be opportunistic with their passing and be able to capitalize when they do pass.
We got a Golden Hawk down. That's Tim Martinez. Incredibly valuable player on this football team. His services are used all over this football field, and he's down at the Golden Hawk 46, 47 yard line, and Coach Nixon comes out himself all the way across the football field to check on Tim.
Well, keep in mind, Vance, Tim Martinez down right now. There are still games left to be played in this season. I mean, this 2010
Liberty next week.
Yeah, this 2010 season doesn't culminate tonight with BHS and Centennial. From here, Centennial will go to Liberty, and then they'll host Frontier in the regular season finale. Bakersfield will go to Stockdale, and then they'll host Liberty in the regular season finale. So obviously, as you see Martinez getting back to his feet, there's still a lot of work to be done in this season. I mean, you've still got 7 minutes left to go in this game. First things first, but you know, in terms of injuries, that's Alex Trujillo out. That's Tim Martinez walking very gingerly. That's Sean Johnson, who after scoring the touchdown, Brian noted that he was walking somewhat gingerly.
2nd and 4, 7:02 left in this fourth quarter. I'm Vance Palm, joined by Matt Alvarez. We have Brian Adams, our 13-year captain, down on the grass. What's up with the Drillers? I mean, the Bruins tomorrow, Cap?
Well, Vance, you know, we're going a little bit wildcat hunting tomorrow.
Matt's Arizona Cats and Brian's Bruins going at it tomorrow. My pick is SC over Oregon.
There you go. I like that pick as well.
Come on. 7 minutes and counting. Well, a second went off the clock. That was weird. Burrell goes to the left. He throws it up into the wind and lets it fly, and he looks over his man, and ooh, that's exciting to watch. The speed of Maston almost got under that football.
Burrell had plenty of time in the backfield, and if he would have gotten that pass off where he liked to, I mean, I'm sure it started off that way, but like we said, these 40-mile-an-hour constant winds are just giving the quarterbacks fits here.
Brian, earlier when you were getting your mic checked, Matt and I were talking about this, about for a quarterback to gauge the height of it and to really make sure these passes are on target. Not an easy task. 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4. They've got to get the first down here. Burrell in big trouble, and he's throwing for a loss. And that's as big a sack as you're going to see tonight. A big, big, big sack in there tonight by who else but Alex Zubia. Wow, that's big.
So it's going to bring up a 4th and 4 here.
4th and 9 at least.
Let's check that, a 4th and 9, right. And it looks like they're going to punt it, 6.5 left.
Well, somewhat of a gamble, but you have to factor in the fact that, you know, if they don't get the first down, it's going to be a really, really tough climb to get Centennial to turn the ball over a couple of times. But you're hoping for the defense. High snap, Nacita grabs it, and it's going to be end over end, and Grimes, and it's fumble! He fumbles in the end zone!
And that
should be a safety.
That could possibly, oh, they gave him the benefit of the doubt on that call, Vance. He picked that up in the end zone.
Captain, you're right on it. What do you see?
They dodged the bullet on that one, guys, because he definitely was in the end zone when he got control. As you see right there, he's lunging for the ball, still under control. By the time he controls it, it's over the goal line. He's on his knees, so he's definitely down, but
oh my goodness.
They got 99.5 yards to go.
But that's a lot different than a safety and punting the football into this wind.
Wow. And you know what the funny thing about that was, Vance, I'm sure you felt it. When that ball was up in the air, we got hit with another huge gust, and that certainly affected the trajectory of the ball.
Well, a huge break for the Golden Hawks. Instead of punting after a safety into this wind, they get the ball at the half-yard line. Everybody in tight for Kessler. Let's see what he's got up his sleeve. I formation, first time we've seen it tonight. Hard count, nobody jump. Kessler battles his way to the 2-yard line. But that clock's gonna start racing if you're a Driller fan.
Boy, Centennial, like Brian said, they dodged a big bullet right there as that ball, at least from our vantage point, was picked up inside the end zone. But as Brian also alluded to, they have 99.5 yards to go. You know what? They have Cody Kessler on their side. He's already gone, what, 90 plus tonight? A couple times.
In the wind.
Into the wind a couple
Their
times.
longest plays have been in the wind.
That was a breeze, fellas. This is a win now.
I gotcha. 2nd and 8. Kessler hands the ball to Johnson. Johnson looks to get free, gets brought down about the 5-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Well, you know, with Kessler's last punt only going 12 yards, if they're forced to punt into this wind again, he's going to have to get off some sort of rocket, because you don't want a 12-yard punt giving BHS possession here inside the 20-yard line.
Great point, Matt. The biggest number on that scoreboard to me now is that clock. It's under 5 minutes. Coffee cup lids flying across the football field. Streamers, confetti, hot dog wrappers, and Coach Nixon calls a timeout. Wants to talk this over. And that gives us an opportunity to talk about next week. There are a lot of opportunities for great football games. We're going to grab one of them. We don't know which one yet, but we'll let you know. Check in with Bright House in the middle of the week, and we'll have an answer for you. 3rd and 6. The clock is stopped. 4:45. And, you know, Matt, you make a great point. This is not the end of the season tonight. Both teams still have 2 more football games left in the season. I know in the regular season, I know we all talk about this as being the game of the year, and it is, rightfully so. Oddly enough, we see a lot of Driller fans peeling out. Oh, boy.
Yeah. They must have got wind of the upcoming storm that should be hitting tonight, but.
Wow.
It's supposed to rain a little later on, isn't it?
1 a.m.
Big game tomorrow night, though, Vance, at BC, homecoming.
Homecoming for the Drillers, hosting El Camino.
The Renegades, rather, not the Drillers.
So, Brian, I know you didn't finish your thought on that Bruins Wildcat game tomorrow.
Oh boy.
Vance, if the Bruins are playing how they played all year long, is you take 3 games off, then you play a good 3. You take 3 games off, you play a good 3.
Matt, I'll give you, I'll be like those Cats league, Coach Holtz, and then those guys at ESPN. I'll give you an opportunity for a rebuttal.
We're gonna win. Arizona will win. I mean,
wow.
There's not a doubt in my mind, Vance.
Here we go, 3rd and 6. They keep it on the ground to Johnson. Johnson cuts back up the football field, and look at this, everybody. Are you kidding me? That's a 1st down.
Well, a huge 1st down for Centennial as their crowd. They've been on their feet all night, but boy, that's like
Mark Sasso, one of the linemen responsible for causing that big 1st down to take place, kind of giving it to the BHS crowd, letting them know 1st down.
And now you said the clock becomes even more of a factor.
Sure.
Now they have 4 fresh downs to play with, but then again, BHS has all 3 timeouts.
First and 10. I formation. Kessler goes back to talk to both of his running backs before he snaps the football. He's right behind center. Changes the call. They go to the left side. Johnson cuts back up, goes to the middle. He drops down at about the 17-yard line. Clock continues to run.
Out now, Gola calls a timeout on the BHS sidelines. As you see the AV Plus instant replay, Sean Johnson up the right side, and still he's able to pick up those hard yards.
We got a timeout on the field, and there's the BHS crowd with 4:02 left and a 2-touchdown pad for the Golden Hawks. I think these people are like, you know what? My ears and my eyes have had enough of this wind. I love our drillers, but we're out.
Well, they may be leaving a little bit prematurely as crazier things have happened.
Hope you've enjoyed all of this. A lot of football left, 4:02 in this tough wind. The elements could cause funky things to happen. You never know. And there's our very famous photographer. I have no idea who it is, but we've had her in camera shots about 11 times tonight. And look at that dust just blowing right off the track on the Centennial side. And here we go. Everybody packed in tight. Kessler again goes to Johnson. Johnson trying to break free, and he gets another first down, and that's a big 8-9 yard run. Oof.
Well, with 3:51 left on the clock here, Johnson picking up another first down along the right side. Once again, they're utilizing that right side a lot, and that seems to be the strongest side of their offensive line. So first down here on the 25-yard line. They haven't moved very far, Vance, but like you said, they're just nibbling that time away from the clock.
3:24 left, first and 10. Kessler looks over at the sidelines. The coaches are talking to him. He's talking back. Here come the driller blue crew. They're going to try to get in there and get Johnson. They don't. Johnson picks up 4 or 5 tough yards. So right now, Brian, they're going to their money man on the ground, and that's Johnson.
Well, Vance, exactly. And that's why I said earlier in the pregame and said throughout this night, he is the difference maker for the Centennial Golden Hawk team because, he's not only a home run guy, he can knock out these singles like he's doing now, 4 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards, and keep your drive going. But let's also give credit to that line right now. They're just doing a good job of opening up holes, so he's able to pick his way through and pick these first downs up.
Thank you, Brian. It's been of all the things that we thought of this week, and Matt, your notes that you compile for us and email us, and all the things that we talked about, and all the rap sessions I have with all my cronies and your cronies and everybody else. And one thing that never came into discussion was this huge wind and how it had effect on, the play calling and the thought process that went behind a lot of this football game tonight. This wind has played its course.
Yeah, it all goes out the window once this wind, when this wind comes into it being a factor.
Johnson kicks it out to the left this time. He's still on his feet, gets brought down. Fumble!
Well, Johnson put the ball on the ground, but I think he picked it right back up. But nonetheless, no timeouts left for BHS, but a third down. And you've got to think they have to make this stop now, because if they don't, that's all she wrote.
3rd and 9. There's a pensive young fan. So 3rd and 9. Kessler gets up close behind center. Everybody packed in there tight. They give it to Johnson. Johnson tries to get outside, and he's still on his feet. Johnson breaks a big one. And I think he may have picked up the first down, and he...
Oh, yeah.
Does. So 4 long first down runs by one player, Sean Johnson. And how apropos, that nice article on him in the newspaper today, and he's the guy that does it. Two minutes left here in the football game. 1st and 10. Kessler now bowls one up the front. He's still on his feet. Is Kessler going to get free? And Crab Radio. The Crab Crush is our new promotion. Well, that's not new now, 3 or 4 weeks into it. Who's our Crab Crush?
Well,
Matt?
The Crab Crushee is Cody Kessler. And the Crab Crush goes to Dominic Rutherford, the 5'8 senior from BHS. He is this week's award winner of the Crab Crush. Back to you, Vance.
Thank you, Matt. We've birthed a legend. We've birthed a legend in Matt Alvarez. I hope one day to always be remembered by him. 28-14, and that's about all she wrote. Centennial, my goodness, and I'm not joking. This is as strong as we've had tonight. Thank goodness there's only 1:08 left. Brian, your thoughts on this big football game tonight?
Well, Vance, it was big plays, some miscues in the backfield for the Drillers. Great defensive pressure and stance from the Centennial Golden Hawks. And I think both these teams have a good chance of meeting again later in the playoffs.
Well, I sure hope so. That'd be a nice thing to look forward to. So the Golden Hawk players and the Drillers are shaking hands, and they are very appreciative of each other, but that's going to do it with a half a minute left. Matt, your final thoughts as we wrap things up.
Well, absolutely. I agree with Brian in the fact that, you know what, these two teams have a very good possibility of meeting each other in the playoffs right back here at Centennial's home field. And so with the win not being a factor in this game, or with win not being a factor in the next game, potentially, you never know which way the momentum can swing.
That's going to do it. You're right, Matt. This crowd is up and they're loving it. On behalf of our director, Bernie Johnson, my partner, Matt Alvarez, up on the Premier Equipment Scissor Lift, Brian Adams down on the grass, all of our great sponsors. What a night. We thank all of our great camera crew that have weathered this big win tonight. Centennial wins, a big win in the biggest game of the season. We'll see you next Friday night. Good night. God bless.
Get in the game. The Friday Night Blitz is on. Friday Football Extra.
And it's a complete football package on Sunday night after the NFL. FFX Sunday Night Edition. All the scores, all the highlights, all the stories from the gridiron.
Coverage of your favorite school, plus the FFX Game of the Week. Friday Football Extra.
FFX, the Sunday Night Edition, only on 17 News after Sunday Night Football.
Local football action. Get in the game.
Bakersfield's only sports station that's all sports, all day, every day. Fox Sports Radio 970. With Dan Patrick in the morning. And Jim Rome 9 to noon. Home for the world champion Los Angeles Lakers and NASCAR. And now the home for the Bakersfield Condors. No swap shop, no tradio, no cheap coupons. Sports. It's all we do. Fox Sports Radio 970.
Got a job to do? Premier Equipment Rentals is your answer. Residential or industrial, we've got exactly what you need to get the job done. Whether it's a drill, trencher, bobcat, backhoe, or excavator, you can always count on Premier Equipment Rentals. And with our new extended hours, we're available when you need us. Check us out at 3217 Patton Way and 5001 Stein Road, or give us a call to find out more. Don't forget to ask about our weekend specials. Make your next project a breeze with Premier Equipment Rental.
Football season's here